Okay, so I'm editing this video and the audio. I'm talking to the computer. No, you're good. So I'm editing the video. The audio is kind of crazy because our neighbor has a band and the drummer came through to rehearse. And I thought about taking all the like drumming and stuff out because it's actually like kind of chaotic and a hard listen at times. But I was like, you know what? I want this to be the most authentic thing, and like that's what happened that day, and it kind of added to the conversation. So I don't want to take away from it. So if you get through this episode, then congrats to you because it definitely gets crazy at times. Hi, I'm about to eat breakfast.
Stop fighting me.
Welcome back to the Dropouts Podcast. You're here with your host, Samaj Sinclair. To the we got multiple co-hosts here. We got the boy, Devin. We got Bleezes. We got Mateo, bro. Yo, it's crazy in the spot
today.
It's fucking stacked.
Are we fucking live?
Yeah, we live now.
Oh fuck! Hi.
Live
in action, baby.
We are live. So I'm about to hydrate.
Get that water in, my boy.
I was not ready.
You got a fight name?
Hmm?
You got a fight name?
A fight name? I mean, the only thing that's like a part of my fight name is just adding the O apostrophe to Driscoll, so it's O'Driscoll whenever I fight.
That's tough.
Let's get a little background for the people for them.
Hi, I'm Devin. I'm a kickboxer, amateur kickboxer, fighting out of Indian Land, South Carolina, with Triumph Fight Academy, and I get paid $0 to punch people in the face. That's my profession. Hopefully, trying to make money.
Hell yeah!
But it's fun to do something you love, and not have to get paid for it. But do I not want to get paid for it? I'll take the money.
I mean, it's a benefit.
Someone
of the
else
job.
is getting paid for it.
Yeah, the promoters.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
gee golly, thank you so much for letting me risk my life for free. It's awesome. Love it.
It is crazy how it's like it starts free, but that's one of the bigger paydays you can get on a professional level.
For sure.
At the highest level.
Even
At the highest level.
to defend amateur fighting. I mean, think of it like college. Like
Yeah, it's
technically
like you gotta
they could
do it anyways.
Technically they could really make us pay to do this shit. You know what I mean? Some do, like those like the tournaments and stuff. If they're ensuring your safety, then they're gonna charge you for the fight.
Yeah,
I think it is like college because you go to class, you pay to train. You don't know how many people think I'm in college when I'm like, yo, I gotta go to class. They're like, okay, bet. Like, yo, what are you studying? I'm like
Punching people in the mouth. Like, honestly.
they're like, you go to UNC Charlotte, right?
I remember
I'm
having
like,
to pay for tournaments like in wrestling and AAU shit.
So many times. So many times, too. I'll be going to Triumph, and it's Triumph Fight Academy. So many people, like, will see it, and they'll be like, you're training to be a pilot? Just fucking try. Literally.
That's hilarious.
I feel like you just gotta be like. That's one of those things I feel bad correcting someone on because I'm just like,
Like,
Well, it's like, no,
It's
not
like,
flight.
I need
not
you to
flight,
reread
Fight
that.
Academy.
yo, reading's hard sometimes.
And it's so funny because they'll say that, and I'll be kitted out, right? Like, I got my gloves tucked underneath my arms. Like, I'm ready to go.
oh fuck.
And it's like, they'll look at me and they'll be like, yeah, you're going to Triumph Fight Academy, right? No, I'm not.
I think it's a flight school.
No.
That sounds
That
terrifying.
would be. I mean, if I wasn't fucking dumb, I'd probably be flying planes. Planes are cool.
Yo, so how'd you get into fighting? Because when we initially met, we were both doing a show.
That's right. What show was it?
I don't know. James put on a show. For
What?
you remember? Do you remember James?
Who?
Joey the Kid. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
That sounds real familiar. I know the
Joey-
name. I don't know
okay.
the face.
No, I remember
like-
now. Well, and nobody ever used their fucking names. People to this day, like, if they knew me from back then they call me Vamp.
I use my name.
I mean, shit. It's 'cause you always use your name.
Yeah.
For me,
I got that from that guy.
Yeah. I hate thinking about those days. You asked me why I got into fighting. It's because I hated music so much. Like, I developed such a strong escape velocity from the music industry that I went straight the opposite direction, right into combat sports.
Interesting.
Why is
Would
that?
you? Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of reasons. I think that in general, it's you have to be a really mentally stable person to pursue that passion. Um,
Music.
you can be really talented and then get no recognition for your talent, um, and trying to play the game of luck with the work that I was putting out and putting a lot of time and effort into was way too demoralizing for me to stay in it. Because it wasn't up to me, you know? And I think that's why I like fighting more, because ultimately, at the end of the day, even if I have an embarrassing loss, it's fine because it was all in my hands, right? I lose that fight. We have something that I can work on so that doesn't happen again, right? And I go back to my second fight. I got knocked the fuck out. It was the dude just came out of like from the gate, swinging at me, looking for the head kicks, looking for the knockout, and I got clipped, and it was devastating. Like it hurt because shit sucks.
It's not the goal. Yeah.
Right. Like, shit sucks. But when I got back and nobody was like, there was no pity party. We're just right back to work to get ready for the next one.
Yep.
That's where it's like, okay, I like this, where it's, you can just correct mistakes. I don't have to worry about when something's gonna like happen, because I know that fuck it. Well, if somebody's gonna have been recording, we'll make it into a lesson and we'll see what we did well and go from there. But shit, man, I haven't lost since. So try to keep try to keep that streak going.
Yeah.
That's what's up. How many fights have you had?
I've had 7 point sparring tournaments, and then I just had my debut full contact kickboxing last year, which was a draw. So that one was fun. That one was so fun. It was against a really good kickboxer with Pitch Black MMA, which is Stephen Wonderboy's.
Okay.
It's Wonderboy's team.
He's from here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see
I
so
mean,
many
in the
local
region.
people with him.
Dude, what was so fucking surreal was him doing commentary on that fight, and hearing that
That's
SoCal
cool.
accent, and he's like, "Nice head kick from Devin," and you know he is.
That's tough.
And dude, oh my goodness! So they announced that it was a majority draw because he scored a knockdown in the second, and I spent the rest of the fight just shoving him around and punching him and kicking him. So it was a really close fight. Like he was fighting intelligently the entire fight. So the point, the punch total was pretty similar too. It's just that he was always on the back foot. I was always pushing him up against the cage, that kind of stuff. But we get to the end of the fight. They announce the draw. Which, again, I'm still fine with, but it does help that both of the commentators are like, can I say something? I think Devin won that fight. And I was like, hell yeah. Feels awesome.
Yeah, it's like the
Wait, Steven Wonderboy said it?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he won that.
you know you got the dub.
I mean, no discredit to Marley. He's been fucking people up ever since. Like the kid's ridiculous. So,
I know a lot of people in martial arts are the biggest thing they're a fear is the knockout. Tell us about how it was for you.
It's not that bad. People make a big deal out of it because you just have to get knocked out first.
How bad of a knockout was it? Were you out cold?
It was because it was a point sparring tournament. They stopped it instantly.
Mm-hmm.
I just went from fighting to I didn't see nothing, and I'm pretty sure I was up in time to make an 8 count. Like I also got there. It was different. Like I know when I got knocked down in the fight that I was having with Marley. It's Marley Ruiz, by the way. He clipped me with an overhand and then a really hard left hook, and it sent me to a knee. And I was still mentally present for that. It's just that everything was brown, like I couldn't see shit.
Brown.
So it's like your vision went.
Yeah, my vision just went for a second. Like it's like when you just get hit hard with something,
I've been
The vision.
hard playing football once before, and
Football
it came
is where
right
I
back.
first knew
but-
it
All the
from.
time.
Yeah, football is where I first knew it from. That
Brown? I've
Yeah.
had I guess more like a white, maybe black flash, but like specifically brown.
Brown is when you've taken a proper TBI, dude. Brown is when you've taken a proper TBI.
What's a TBI?
Traumatic brain injury? Yeah, that's like when your vision cuts, it means that you've been hit pretty hard. If you're still mentally present, that's always a good sign. It's just kind of like
It's like it's not as bad.
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah,
that
I
would
would
be a
definitely
that
have
would be
black
on the
and white.
lower end of a severe brain injury. Um, when it came to that head kick that I got knocked down with, I'm pretty sure I could have made an 8 count. I felt like I was up pretty quickly, and I got up pretty quickly in the video too. It's just
Or was it right on the chin, back of the head?
it came right across my jaw, like, wrapped around the back.
Mm-hmm.
It sucked. It sucked, dude. I this was so early into my training that I didn't even know how to block head kicks yet. So when I was doing this fight, this guy's just beaming me, and I'm like, my hands are up there, but it would just go right past my hands. Like I'd do like maybe a one-handed block, and I'd still get bad. Sorry, you probably didn't hear that because I was doing the block with the microphone. I was trying to say that I blocked like this for head kicks, and you shouldn't do that. The head kick will go right through. It'll still
I
hurt.
was like, how do you block it?
It's bad. It's bad.
I was also thinking about like with the music versus fighting. I was like,
Mhm.
damn, imagine you're in a fight and you got like your manager's like, nah, you can't throw that punch. you got the hit.
You're not
you got
allowed
the
to.
beggars. You can't throw that punch.
That's so
yet.
funny that you say. That's so funny that you say that. Because I remember that's part of the reason that I wanted out too. Because like I just liked making music. That
Yeah.
part was fun to me. I didn't even like writing lyrics. Like I was such a shit lyricist because I was so angsty and so melodramatic. Everything that I ever wrote was just pure whiny emo garbage. But the beats were so good and the singing was so good. And I took pride in that. Like every time that I was working on a track, I didn't give a shit about anything else. The lyrics came as the very last thing that I did, and even then, it was more to serve a melody. Like
Yeah.
I need enough words to fit in this line to sound good, kind of thing. I wish I had a ghostwriter. I feel like that would have been better. But
AI, bro.
it. Alright, bet. I'll come back to music then. Yeah, it's like when I'd get finished, they'd be like, "Oh no, this isn't Lil Vamp. This isn't what we want." You know, and I was like,
Who is they?
it's not. They were they
Just people
weren't
you were
a
working with?
for-profit. It was a label. It's just a label that I was signed to. I don't want to talk too bad on them because they had my
Yeah.
best interest in mind. It's just that they didn't.
It just wasn't where
A good fit.
what you were enjoying.
And having that dichotomy was insanely stressful, and I hated it. And
Lil Vamp versus Devin.
dude, you have no idea. He was such a twerp. I would beat the shit out of Lil Vamp. Easy, no different, no difficulty, no difficulty
He goes
whatsoever.
back in time just to whoop his ass.
Oh,
You ask him the
1,000%.
He's like to whoop his ass.
Yeah, I would go back dude, I would scorch Lil Vamp. I would knock him out so fast, expeditiously.
Why?
The head kick.
Why do you want to knock him out? Why was he
He
a
sucked.
twerp? He didn't seem like a twerp to me. He seemed like a pretty chill kid figuring it out.
Because I'm charming, dude. Like, because I'm charming.
Yeah.
I sucked. There's plenty of reasons that I sucked, and that's the other part too. For me, it's that for some people they can make it through that industry while being selfless and good people, good friends, that type of stuff. For me, it made me a narcissist, and I didn't like myself. Like I didn't
Yeah.
like the way that I moved. I didn't like any of the like the type of. I didn't like my behavior. I didn't like anything about it.
I see that happen with some of my favorite people, and it's not like every moment of every day they're like that, but
Right.
like just getting in headspaces that
It's a line.
change their personality.
Yeah, it's a line of thinking.
Yeah.
And when you get to that headspace, you're constantly thinking about everything through the lens of how does this affect me? How does this affect my career? And
Yeah.
it's good to be selfish sometimes, but when that's your whole line, like your whole train
Yeah.
of thought, it doesn't leave a lot of room for empathy and good behavior.
Could you give us like, I guess, an example of like who the character, so to speak, Lil Vamp was, and how that differs from who you actually are?
Well, Lil Vamp as a character was always very theatrical. Like I took a lot of inspirations from guys like Freddie Mercury, David Bowie, and just made it more punk. I come out, you remember, the full face of makeup, Moshed hard as shit. It was just, I mean, it was something that I wanted to do different. You know, I was coming to a very rap heavy scene that had a punk twinge to it, and for me, making the music that I was making, it felt like in order to stand out, I wasn't like, I felt like I needed to be a spicy white. You know what I mean?
A spicy white.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear that. I get it.
So, you know, I came out swinging, and
I feel like there's something therapeutic a little bit about like not only performance but also like character performance.
for sure.
I've never like super gotten into it, but I'm really into like listening to actors talk about their process and other
Oh, yeah.
performers and
For
shit
sure.
like that, and even like musicians who have more of a character or persona. That shit is dope.
Yeah, I mean,
And it can go both ways. I feel like it can be like super healing for them, and it can also sometimes it's a side of them they don't like, and they're just like they have to separate themselves from that.
yeah, and to that point, like I actually kind of liked Lil Vamp as a character. I just wish that I was a more stable human being playing Lil Vamp rather than a shallow narcissistic asshole playing Lil Vamp. You know what I mean?
Hindsight.
Hindsight's 2020. And that's the other. I mean, when it came, we're talking about healing. Fighting is really what did that for me, and the support of having a really just close knit family of people who are genuinely invested in your well being. You're always gonna find that anywhere. Like even in music, there are still people that like. I'll check up on them at least once a month if I can. You know, where it's like these are people that are my bound. Someone said, shit, dude. Do you know Keychains?
Mm-hmm.
He said something to me that almost made me cry, dude. I was like, he was hyped me up for the fight. And I said, I'll do my best to make you proud. And, dog, he said, you've already made me proud, just make me right. Shit. Like, I got chills. Oh, man, it tugged at my heartstrings, dog.
Hell yeah, that's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. I like. I feel like I was surprised when I saw you fighting. Not surprised, but like I feel like people might have felt the same about me and shit like that too. But like
Yeah.
I was just like, oh shit! I thought it was cool as fuck because I'm like,
Yeah.
I like obviously understood it immediately. Like artists who likes combat, like yeah, those things go hand in hand. Like
Right.
in almost every dojo, there's the dude who at least plays guitar or something. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So like, but I was like, oh shit, going in a fight, and that's pretty sick.
Yeah. And when it started, like, I think that it was just I needed a change of scene. And for context, what really started the journey was that in 2020 I had an overdose, and I kind of had to just be realistic about where I was at. Like when you're doing something like that and you get to that point, you wake up in the hospital, you're like, oh shit. Probably need to change the scene. So, the next day, not the next day, day after, I saw the van for our fight team. It was Indian Land MMA at the time, and I was like, I should call, and I did. It turned out that my coach was living in the same apartment complex as me. So, yeah, I mean, we talked, and I came in on the first day, dude. I locked up with my boy Jimmy, and Jimmy's a big dude. He's a big motherfucker. He's strong. We lock up. We're doing some stand-up wrestling to start off. He hits a snap down. I got flattened like a pancake. I
A
get
good
back up.
snap
I do
down's
some
humbling.
striking. I do some striking sparring for the first time. I get bopped in the mouth like it's like it's nothing, and I was like, "This is the coolest shit I've ever done."
Yeah.
Because everything, like, I think what's so cool about fighting is that you have to earn everything. There's nothing that you feel like you just deserve, you know? Like, it humbles you so intensely that it's like, okay, I have to work hard in order to get the things that I want. And every time that I've, you know, kicked my own ass to get ready for something, made it happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love this shit. It's nice to see it too. Like when I get the congratulations and the support that I get, it feels earned for once, right? Like some of the guys who've been watching me fight, who I look up to, who are giving me words of support, like they believe that I can take this next fight home. That shit, it's different. It's so different. So
yeah, I feel like you don't always get that sense of community in other fields too. Like music's an easy one to talk about because but really just a lot of different like,
yep.
especially competitive career spaces. Like it's just real easy for shit to get very cliquey. And I mean, that still happens. Like it happens. It can happen within a gym. It can happen from gym to gym.
It
but
does.
I feel like I started wrestling when I was like 6, and I did it until high school. Like my freshman year, I kind of got just sick of it. It'd been not my whole life, but it'd been a lot of my time.
Yeah.
And like when you start getting to high school, it's way more time because it's like I wasn't even allowed to go home. I'd get out of class and we'd have to go to study hall with the team. And then I'd have to wait a couple hours till practice.
Yeah.
And then I would have to practice. And then it's like all weekend you got a tournament, matches during the week.
Yep.
It just became everything. But you just meet a lot of really like passionate and pretty wholesome people. So you can get any kind of person anywhere. But I do feel like in martial arts, like even when people don't realize it, it's a spiritual thing, like having that mind-body connection. But
do we have live drummers?
We do.
We do have
Jeremy's
drummers
always
at
fucking around in the back though.
Cameraman's not doing his job, bro. But yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of really good people in fighting and martial arts in general. Like, it's people that want to take care of themselves. They want to further themselves. They want to work hard. They want to feel like they earned what they got. And
It's crazy from like a casual's perspective though. It's the complete opposite. Like they look like the hardest motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to go talk to the fighter. But it's like the most welcoming community. That
usually it's a bunch of weirdos for like wrestling, bro.
Dog, we're mentally ill.
Like kids.
That's the other thing. People, we said all those words, and the truth is that like, why am I in fighting? Dog, I'm mentally ill. I want to be punched in the face and punch people in the face.
I feel like most people are struggling with something, and like everyone finds something that, or hopefully the goal is to find something that like makes it all worth it. Heals you in some way, makes you feel like fulfilled and a better person. But fighting is a great one. It's one of many. I can. Well, yeah. It's like I feel like when you listen back, it'll be all right.
I'm having such a good time. I feel like this is fitting for my episode that I get a musical accompaniment.
Okay, as long as you like it, Our neighbors.
This transitions into a segue to talk about something about music. I wanted to talk about something that I think you'll find interesting as a musician. I'm gonna pass a little bit of tech to you. Have you ever noticed when people are fighting, when they're moving in the way that they move, they're moving in 4/4?
Oh, he said, I see the rhythm. He said, I really saw you.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
They got a mirror side by side.
Even when you're doing the tie stomp. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
That makes sense. I am listening to a song in my head. And I think that could also be because a lot of time when you're training, there is music being played, and subconsciously, like, you are picking up on that. So maybe you should start listening to some, like, fucking, like, the Thai music.
Some jazz.
So, well, Thai music's just that weird fucking...
Whoa.
I just want to listen to that while I train.
And
you doing that.
Me?
Yeah.
I'll like...
Doing the white crew? Yeah.
That's interesting, though, and it's, like... an advantage to see that rhythm in people.
You ready for this?
Yes.
What if you switched your attack pattern to 3/4 or 6/8 or 5/4?
I feel like that's kind of what he meant. He's like, you should switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking the same. They start throwing some fucking jazz on.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So one of my
Drunken
favorite
Fist
songs.
type shit.
Yeah. One of my favorite songs to imagine in my head when I want to switch up the rhythm to confuse an opponent is I'll put on from the Sound of Music my favorite things. I'll do that little waltz and then start timing my punches off of that little waltz. 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. From there, and you'll be surprised how often someone like because they're getting used to that type of rhythm where it's like okay,
they definitely like even if they're not like looking at it thinking it, I feel like you feel the
everyone is somewhat musically literate. It's just that not a lot of people are rhythmically intelligent. So if you throw on a rhythm game for someone that they don't understand, even if they see the punches that you're going to throw, they're going to mistime it. I've seen it happen to a bunch of guys who are like around my level as I've been sparring and testing this tech out. It fucks people up all the time because they're so used to that being on the pads rhythm, that 1 2 3 4 when they're throwing out a combo.
Yo, what a niche like.
We're gonna bleep that part out of the podcast. That's too much sauce for people.
Sorry.
That's fire.
That
Like
is-
it's just such an interesting like meeting of worlds too.
Yeah.
That I mean, it's not crazy that it's there, but how many people are thinking about it? And would you have noticed it as quickly if you hadn't had the music foundation you have?
Probably not. I mean, in the same way that you taught like Sugar Ray Robinson, he would put on jazz while he was building up combos, and that's effectively what he was playing in his head when he would go out there and box. And it's what made him great, in my opinion. It's one of the many things aside from his just crisp iron punches. I think it's really the difference maker that made him a great fighter. And for me, like, again, it goes back to if you can get someone to react to something in a way that even if they understand what is coming at them, they're not sure when it's coming. Attacking the processor in the brain.
Yo, you should make fighters start scatting while they spar.
Oh my fucking god! I've actually done that in sparring. I do it to give people a giggle. Like I'll be in the middle of sparring and I'll throw out a combo and I'll be.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, I feel like it's helpful. I mean, already people make noises and different like shouts and shit.
Skibbity boo bop.
Start fucking scatting. That's fire.
Yeah, I mean, why not? That's actually a really interesting concept, just really playing with the timing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wanna do some shit like
You
that.
said I'm trying to get in the gym, bro.
Like, nah, like,
We go gym right now.
well, you should start doing it. So like, we should have like Matt play guitar. And just be
I
like,
feel like I got some weird timing shit.
hell yeah, we still work on a lot of music. So do you like? You said you liked working on music before, just the process of working on music. Have you just stopped doing that?
I do it for me.
That's dope.
In my room still. Nowadays, I just like make video game style music because it's like the most fun to work on. I'm not gonna put any of it out because it's just like it's not really that good. It's good enough for me to like just kind of pull up on my computer and listen to it every once in a while.
I like to
But-
listen to the shit I make, and I've like the last like 2-3 years been telling people the same thing, like soundtrack type shit, video game.
Yep.
Like that's not always my headspace, but I've really like dove into that world.
So what genres for you? What like as far as video games are concerned? 8-bit.
I haven't made anything 8-bit. I really like
So
listening to shit that's 8-bit.
You should try it. It creates a really interesting creative limit where it's
Yeah.
like you got to work on something within the confines of the tools you got.
And I feel that because I feel like sometimes I don't want like sometimes the more sound options you have, like
I mean, yeah, and then you
the
then,
less.
like, when you put that rule set
It
on
takes
yourself,
longer.
your creativity, you can like bend the rules a little bit to your favor. If I'm making something 8-bit, I'm going to use mostly true 8-bit synths, but at the same time, I might steal a little
Sneak a
retro
little something in there.
I might put a little Omnisphere 2 in there that sounds like a little, reverby. To give
As,
it a little
long as
extra
it sounds
sauce.
good, like that's another thing about music that I like.
God, these drums are so fucking
Right.
funny.
Like they're like it's not that bad, then it gets fucking loud.
I want
This
to
is
play
the
them
best
so
episode of a
bad.
podcast ever.
I think he has headphones.
The noise
in.
pollution is incredible.
I wonder what it's gonna sound like in post though.
I've low-key, like in my head been like, there has to be AI for this.
I feel like you could filter even just
No.
the low end out though, and
This
it's,
is-
like, we'll be good.
Because if you do this, if you do that, and if you take out the drums, I'm going to spam the comment section just saying release the drum
He
cut.
said there were drums.
Release the
Release the drum cut.
These are
If you cut them out, I will protest.
They're
Bro,
trying to keep
hey,
it
look,
secret.
man. If you like the drums, this makes me feel like I'm on the fucking Eric Andre show.
It's-
though.
That's perfect. I was like, what is the vibe that's happening?
We're talking. Yeah, right.
Yeah, watch me just run through a fucking wall and set.
Yo,
Yeah,
if
I guess we gotta
had
talk about
the
something
budget,
ridiculous.
I would
Do you think-
gladly.
Do you think Justin? Wait, what was that one that made a fucking Lance Reddick walk off? You think Justin Bieber shoots his DNA or something?
What?
Dog, it's such a funny line.
What do you say?
Yeah, I need it. I'm guessing it's
so
an Eric
Lance,
Andre line.
dude, it was Eric
Oh.
Andre and Lance Reddick, and it's that one episode where Lance Reddick just punches the shit out of Eric's desk. It's like, you need a new desk.
I just put
Walks
my
off
girl
set.
on Eric Andre's show this year. She'd never peeped it. Like,
Oh
she knew
my
it existed. She'd seen the "Let me in," but
That's so
it.
funny. That's
I love
actually
it,
so
bro.
funny.
During lockdown, I was blazed out of my mind watching Eric Andre's show, Dragon Ball Z, which only because my
Dragon Ball Z is
roommate
so
had
good.
it on. Like, not be that I wouldn't have liked it, but I never watched his lids. I never watched it myself.
I'm just
Fucking
thinking
dead.
about the fucking like. It sounds like fucking jazz. Like I'm even trying to like catch the beat. And
While you're talking.
it's like everything.
Yo,
Yeah,
It sounds
so-
like
go
the
through
beginning of a joke.
combos.
Four
It's
four
a-
musicians walk into a room and then a drum starts playing next door.
Four
With
fighters
the-
are in
we
the
weren't
storage
making
unit.
any-
Fucking, I feel like goddamn. If someone's listening to this,
I'm sorry, what?
like on acid, like
This is good content.
Boom.
I
It's
had a
either
f-
gonna like
you
fuck them
the
up.
trip up, or it's gonna be
or-
the greatest thing ever. Like elevate their entire lives. I had a friend on acid. Like we would trip together, but sometimes like I would have to be like we'd have to have not strong disagreements, but like they'd want to do something that was just not okay.
Like
Like
do something gross.
like they'd want to play two songs on different speakers in the same room, just like at the same
Not
time.
that especially went together either.
No, not even the same beat. Not like, yo, let's make a mashup. Like, yo, let's just like have
I
both of
want to
these
have the
playing.
experience of ew. Why?
It's disgusting. I can just feel
Drugs.
Drugs, yeah. We were never like.
I don't
down
know.
with
Yeah,
it's
it.
never
imagine
done
that
that to me.
Like, you put like a fucking like speaker over there that's playing like "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion as he's doing this shit. Like, no.
Right, and it's like Griselda on the other one. Like, I feel like it would be something that random.
It's fucking NASCAR Aloe. Like,
And like an anime outtrack.
I love NASCAR Aloe.
When you were talking about like just like the punk rap scene in Charlotte, because he's one of the guys that's been around for a while, he came to
Yep.
mind immediately, and I was just talking about him. Not about him, but all right, quick story. My 21st birthday, I flew out to Colorado because I had been on a trip out there like for hiking and
how old
shit.
are you now?
24.
24. Okay.
I turned 25 next January.
Bet.
But
Okay, at first I thought he was like, oh, they're podcasting. Let me chill. Now I feel like. Do you think he
there's
knows?
definitely headphones. Got to be headphones on. Or does he think this is just a convo?
I don't know.
It's just a regular
like,
conversation.
We're just
all right.
chilling.
I'm like, a part of me is like,
just come to the
room
storage
talking.
unit to talk.
a part of me is like,
To get
is
away
it-
from
is
the
this
gals.
disrespectful, or is he like, is it like, does he not give a fuck? I don't know.
I think he wants to. I like to live in the world and
where
imagine
everyone's
that-
being nice.
Yeah, I mean, because that's my ideal. Like
I saw a clip the other day where a guy said something similar.
yeah, like I'm
like,
trying to
well-
live like Ken. I'm trying to live like Ken from the Barbie movie, where it's just like all the time, it's just good vibes, you know.
Yeah.
Good vibes. If it's bad vibes, throw some shades on.
And if I'm having an
good
exit,
vibes.
if I'm having an existential crisis, I just remind myself that I am Knuff. You know, gotta
You
have that
are.
Kenergy.
Kennard.
Catered.
Yo, what's happening right now? I think I'm on acid.
I go to
dosed the
Colorado,
water when
right?
It was a
Came in.
good movie, dog. Barbie was a good fucking movie, and I stand by
Don't
that.
spoil it.
I'm
Don't
not gonna spoil
it
any
for
of
me.
it.
Okay,
I won't spoil
okay.
any of it. But it was so fucking good. I loved every single second of it. Probably the best toy commercial I've ever seen in my life.
Right? A fucking like 2-hour toy
Well,
commercial.
my favorite part that I thought was so cute is that like the Barbies and the Kens, they talk like dolls being played with. Like it's the same conversation that like, you know, girls playing with dolls would have.
Yeah, it's not like a normal dialogue.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, that's
but
gonna be
it's-
dope.
And it's so funny because it's like Ken is the best part. Like one of my favorite parts of the movie.
He's the main reason I want to see it.
Well, Ryan Gosling is just.
I fuck with him.
Yeah, he's just the boy.
He's a
the
classic. Man. Yeah, I feel like he's an American treasure. What's gonna happen when he's old? This is like.
I'm sorry.
It's getting wilder.
I'm like, should I do something? Like, I just don't. I feel like
that was perfect. We went into a really deep spiral. It was so
It's crazy.
I'm having such
that's
a
the
good
thing.
time.
It's like a part of me is like salty, but another part of me is just like I can't make this shit up. Like
No,
this will never happen. This
is
won't happen
just
like
what
this
happened.
again.
It's a unique.
Oh
pod.
God, this is amazing.
I go
have
to
it too.
Colorado.
Okay,
I
you
went
go
for
to
the hiking
Colorado.
retreat like sophomore year.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
We
It was
started
actually
talking about
Young
part-
Life. If anyone knows what that is.
Shout out Young
I
Life.
thought it was gonna be really whack. It was dope. I loved it. But we were mostly just in nature, and I was like, I want to go as an adult and just do my own thing. So we
Yeah.
go to like downtown Denver, and I was there for like maybe 5-6 days or something, maybe 4. I don't know. But for my 21st, I went out to a bar and I had shots and shit, and then we were gonna like let's just go walk to another bar. And I hear like flute or some shit. Like I just hear some wild shit like luring me, honestly. And I follow it into this bar. Yes, it was just like that. And a motherfucker, there's a live band playing, and a motherfucker's on the flute, going crazy. And it just like I was pretty sauced at this point. I mean, we'd been like
What jazz
blazing,
does to a motherfucker,
yeah,
dude. Like
we've been
for
blazing
real.
like ungodly amounts of weed. We bought way too much. We had to leave shit there.
You were in Denver too.
We
yeah.
couldn't bring it home.
You had to leave it
We had to
there.
Denver
leave
weed
weed
is
there.
crazy.
Damn,
And-
should have called
Yeah,
me out.
honestly, like there were full days where like the whole crib was just like not full days, but like we'd go eat lunch and everyone's coming back and just crashing. But anyway, so I'm very crossed. I'm out. This shit lures me into like, and it's like you walk into the bar and then there's a room in the back and there's maybe like 3 people in there listening, like seeing this live performance. And it was fire because I recorded it. I was like, was I drunk? Like, did it just sound really good? But nah, I got some videos. It was very good. And anyways, I'm like in Denver and I see that shit and there's a poster on the wall. NASCAR Aloe is gonna be there in like the next month or some shit. And I was just
In
like,
Denver?
that's so random.
That's funny how
He's a
that's
big
how we
star
started
now.
talking about NASCAR.
It's
I love
a big star.
NASCAR.
It's a
NASCAR's one
small
of my
world.
favorite humans.
This was like 2020 actually, January
Yeah.
2020 before the lockdown.
yeah.
When
And I
he established such a. I mean, not for nothing. He was also a big inspiration for me coming into that scene, because that unapologetic "fuck you" energy, what created some of the best live shows that I've seen ever.
I saw motherfuckers breaking bones at those shows.
Yeah, somebody hit a
Not
fucking.
that I want that.
Dude, somebody
but
hit an RKO at a show.
Yo, that's ridiculous.
Like
That's
came out
the
into the
vibe.
crowd. It came out into the crowd. Fully took the bump. Boom.
I had my
RKO
shirt
out of nowhere.
stolen.
This is one of the most iconic photos from 2018, and this is at a NASCAR Aloe show.
Was that Mozzie?
This is just after. No, that's this man right next
I'm
to
dead.
you.
I'm dead.
We was smoking cigs and like
Y'all look immaculate in that photo.
not even
There's,
drinking the water.
Thank you. There's a Jay Storm hiding in the back of one of those pictures. I just did a producer competition. Holy fuck. I just did a producer competition. And Jay Storm was one of the people in my episode, and it was dope because I feel like I see him so randomly. Like
You can probably hear him so great. But it's like,
When you started screaming, it was so good.
But
Yo,
Jay Storm,
this
one
is
of those like
crazy.
Charlotte people that's just been around so long, bruh.
Storm.
Shout out Jay Storm.
Shout out Jay Storm.
Shout out NASCAR Aloe.
Shout out NASCAR Aloe.
Shout out
Yeah.
this guy.
Shout out this guy. Shout out Jay
Shout
Storm.
out. Shout out.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna be so disappointing if we review the footage and
what? Tell me.
Go ahead.
if after all of this shit the drums are like completely silent.
They're not.
Imagine.
They're watching the video. They're like, why are they freaking out? Like, what's going on?
Exactly.
It's impossible at this point. Maybe earlier.
Maybe earlier.
Oh my goodness.
Like, there's
I actually got
Adobe
this mic-
Podcast that I could probably use. But
Wait,
at this,
what did you say? I can't hear
can you really not hear me?
He's just talking.
You're gonna have to talk a little bit louder. Because because we can
We're at a
barely hear you.
concert right now, potting.
Oh my God!
Like,
It's
you
so
didn't
much
realize.
worse without the headphones.
I bet.
Hold on, let me check. Let me hear this. I want to see what this sounds like.
With the headphones, I can speak kind of
Oh,
quietly. You can still hear me though.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, see, he hears me right now. He's listening to me, but you guys can't hear shit I'm saying.
The fact that you can, oh my God, the fact that you can really hear the drums in the background like that, I didn't even realize it was that bad.
Sometimes I'll like
That's amazing.
whisper shit to Samaj like very quietly when he got the headphones on.
He had his like fucking, his stomach was growling and his mic was just here.
I just did ASMR to the audience, and I don't think they appreciated it.
Nah, I sneak shit
Put that-
into the
put that-
podcast.
Put it back.
All right, if it gets that loud again, I gotta be like, dog, please. Like, please.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, like, I,
There it is. Cute.
it
Every time that the drums start up again, I'm going to start talking about the Barbie movie. That's my new rule.
It started off so casually. It started off just some hi-hats.
Yeah.
It's like the sparring. Like, you start off light and
Oh,
then
absolutely.
by
Absolutely.
the end,
Next thing you know, it's
fucking-
Tom's.
We're fighting.
You touch gloves, you
Double kick.
give a little tap, and then the next thing you know, you're fucking throwing hands.
Oh yeah.
Especially when it's someone you're, like, teaching shit to.
Oh, for certain.
Because
So do you fight? You fight as well?
I tried a little bit with him, but
Bet.
Never did any striking. I don't.
he's a wrestling boy.
want it.
You could do MMA.
I feel like
it's one
I
of the
could.
best bases for him.
I have done striking, not in any organized or. I've gotten in fights.
I got gloves. I got gloves today.
Just
So
kicked the
my-
motherfucker in the face before.
I don't got shit to do today.
I don't got
So,
shit to do today.
we
I
can
just
really
need to get
see
some.
what
I
we
need to
do.
get somewhere near, like central, so I can call an Uber home.
Central's
Central?
not that far.
What's Central?
That's
Central
like where
Charlotte.
we were.
Oh.
Anywhere in
Charlotte.
Central Charlotte, it doesn't fucking matter.
That's like where we were kind of for when we got the pizza and I got a little Remy Coke.
What's today? Sunday?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on in Charlotte. We're gonna do this comedy show. We were thinking about maybe do some free. If you down for some free comedy show.
Charlotte.
Making plans on the podcast is crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, viewer.
It's fine.
This is
Quiet,
everything
too.
that you don't get to do or see. This isn't even going to be content.
It's
This is
gonna
just
be-
us
First off,
making plans, right?
follow us on social media. You get to see the story,
You could be there.
and then you'll
Fuck
be
you.
like, oh.
Sincerely, fuck you. Make a vlog or fuck off. Don't
Nah.
plug the social
Nah,
media.
nah,
Are you
follow the
joking?
socials.
That's crazy.
Nah,
Don't
I do want to
follow
make a
me.
vlog one day, but I'm
you
not
should make a vlog.
vlogging.
I'm gonna make a vlog, especially when I travel overseas.
The reason I'm not
Definitely.
vlogging right now
Yeah.
is because I'm gonna be
No better way to
vlogging daily.
capitalize.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm funny. God damn it.
It can be a journal.
Be a
I like
stand-up.
that.
Not only
A
that,
stand
but,
up?
like,
Hell no. I'm not funny enough for that.
That's fun. I don't feel stand up funny. I
Yeah.
feel like
Sit down, funny.
I feel
well, that's
carefully
because
edited funny.
Have you ever sat down and tried to construct a joke though?
exactly.
You're
It's
just
like
joking
that's
with the
not
boys,
really
and-
my.
but you-
my-
I'm not
it's an
saying you
art
couldn't.
form.
I can
It
write
is.
You gotta,
jokes.
yeah. That you're right though. You have to think about it. Like it's not the same. People who
Yeah.
think they're
100%.
funny get up on stage and they're just like,
Trying to shoot shit with boys.
It's
Brennan
it goes back
Schaub.
to that joke of a stand up. I'm just they don't understand my comedy. I'm just dark and edgy. Goes up, says the N word.
yeah.
Sounds like
I'm
an
just
office
they don't
Reddit.
get me, man.
They just don't get
Does
me.
racism.
I was watching. Have you seen what is it called? A really good podcast. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I
I, was
love
just
her.
watching the Lil Yachty episode,
Oh, that's that new
and
chick.
Shorty was talking about how
Yeah.
she want to get on TV, and Lil Yachty was just like, "Look in that camera right now and say the N word." Like you'll be on TV before tomorrow morning. I promise. And she was just like, "No."
She's
I'm not
so
gonna do
sweet.
Said, "You know, I wouldn't say that." He's like, "I just met you. I don't know that. Don't put words in my mouth."
That's funny.
She is funny. She seems hella J.M. Robinson. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, like someone we went to high school with, and it's just like,
That's
why did she get a
hilarious.
show?
Yo, when did you get the leg tat? Does it have any meaning or does it just look dope as fuck?
We're not talking about the leg tap. Look at this.
All right, that's fair.
yeah.
You can't.
You
be
could always get
showing
that touched up
much
though. That's so
thigh
light.
and say we can't
We're not
talk
talking about the leg. You could get
They
like
can't even see it. They
that's
can't
not
see it.
very like I feel like bold though. Like that's line work. It'd be really easy to get a tattoo artist to go in and make it.
I know.
It is
that's
about,
why-
like,
I just don't like. I didn't know if
10
you like
inches,
regretted it,
like,
but it's too
I
cool.
don't-
I feel like it's
Someone
too
in
cool.
Thai, bro,
Yeah.
they'll fix that for cheap.
The,
That shit would look
for
good.
$1,000, throw it for maybe like 200 baht. Like,
I fuck with it. We were just talking about like warriors and shit earlier because the last person in here was I like caught the tail end of the conversation, and I just fuck with that shit. All the different weapons and honestly, it's like on a deep level, I hate war, but
It's
like
still in
also,
there.
fighting
One
and
of
also
the
us.
art
man
of it
brain.
is
Also,
beautiful.
man brain goes. Hee.
Yeah.
Stick go poke.
Yep. Yep. I like weapons and shit.
I don't like the idea of war, but I'm super fascinated by the art of
How
it.
we go about it. Yeah.
I wish I could relate, man. Like
Well, war isn't what it used to be either. You
I
know?
don't like.
I
But there
was
used to
back
be
in the
true
day where
war
it
with
was like-
honor and shit like that you're talking about with warriors and samurais and shit.
Not
Now
even-
it's just people shooting and
That's what I
It's
mean.
guns.
I wish that like okay, like one of the reasons I like training and like I have this like obsession with violence is because I feel like it's inevitable. But I'm like, damn, realistically, if like that just didn't have to happen, that'd be so cool.
Right.
But I'm like, that's just not a possibility.
No.
I'm selfish. I'm selfish. I like the fact that I can beat up on another human feeling, like another human being. Like it's,
And like they're
I'm glad
consenting to
exists.
that.
Well, yeah,
too.
but as
Yeah.
a martial artist, I feel like you don't feel the need to go beat up on people
Oh,
for
absolutely.
no reason.
Right.
It's like obviously like you want the power. It's like you want this power because it's available to you and you know
Yes.
people can use it for the wrong reasons. But it's just like damn, it'd be pretty sick if people didn't do that. Like I guess what I'm talking about is like world peace, like that'd be
sure.
sick.
It would
That'd be a
very
vibe.
dope.
But like the fact that it's not peaceful, like not that I'm angry, not that I'm happy about it. It's just like what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Violence is cool, but the art of it.
Not
Like
art
that
was,
book I was
the
talking
art was
about.
lost when money came from war. You know, now war is
Well,
about
okay.
dollars.
I mean, to be fair, dude, what do you think every war since the
Back
dawn
in
of-
the back in
It's
the
been
time,
about-
it was for land.
It's
Well,
been
even
about
then,
pussy.
That's money. That's still money.
It's
in a
power.
sense.
It was kingdoms trying to take another kingdom's
Yeah,
territory.
which is money. The land is more money.
I genuinely think
so
pussy.
it's still the war is
You
over
said
money.
pussy still?
I feel like
pussy.
it's fear. I feel like
It's power.
yeah.
I think it's
control.
someone.
And like even power
someone's
is just
gonna
like
try
a
to steal
band-aid
my
on the
bitch. I
fear.
think it's all pussy.
Yo, you
No,
should read
no.
you should
'Cause
read
it was- I mean,
the
people would incite
Ramayana.
wars over very like silly things like
Pussy.
I'm
Pussy.
invoking my 7th claim to the Duchy of Clitania,
Trying to go there.
and this is mine now, so we're gonna go to war over it. Like that, especially when it comes to like Europe.
Why did they want everything? Why do these dudes want all this shit? To get the chicks, bro. It all goes back to the chicks. No king ever was like.
Why
I
do they
want
want
no
the chicks though?
bitches.
Because they're scared of having no bitches. It's all
Exactly.
fear, bro.
No king ever says I don't want no bitches. No king's ever like give me everything except the bitches.
Sheesh. Even the ones that like.
That's not correct. That's just not correct.
He says it's not totally historically accurate.
I don't mean it like I'm not gonna do the nerd emoji on you today. It's just also at the same time like we both know that you're that's just not correct.
Someone
I
wanted
think
no
so.
bitches.
Who wanted no bitches? What king wanted no bitches? What king was like?
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
prefer-
King Viserys Targaryen. His wife died, and he really didn't want to get remarried, but
Did he come around to it?
He had
There's
to
a
make
sex
a
scene.
fucking prince.
Exactly.
Mm.
He had to pop that baby out.
So you're saying it's money, just money?
I think mostly money. Yes, most wars have been fought over money.
You don't think Poontang's
What is
you don't
money,
think
though?
That dang is a part of it.
Up there, it's nothing.
Like,
you know, it's
and like
infinite.
even like anywhere, like if it represents something. Like money is a representative
just
thing.
power.
Power, exactly.
Yeah,
Right back
and
to
it's
the
like,
same word.
what is power? Power is also represent because
Power
you
is
can't. Someone
control.
can't hold power.
Power is control.
You know, it's not tangible, but like yeah, the control over the resources, the way other people move,
Or how people can move.
yeah,
You're shaping
all
how
that
they
shit.
move.
That's facts, and I feel like people only want that power and control because they're scared, because this life is temporary, and they're just like, I want what I want.
I want it all.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I respect that. I be wanting shit.
Yeah,
I don't. I feel like I
Would
don't
you
gotta
be a
take it from
king?
someone else.
Would you like be a king? What kind of king would you be?
In my
would
mind-
would I be a king? You fucking nuts. Probably be a peasant that died of dysentery.
Oh,
I mean, most of us would be. That's how this shit worked.
vibes are up for real.
I hope he doesn't. He just starts rocking out to this shit.
I think it's gonna happen.
It's.
I could
told
vibe with
you.
that. I thought he was gonna start playing rock music.
I really
Rock
love the
drums.
like king conversation because I got really into Game of Thrones and the books and shit and like
You know.
I need to peep that series.
You know what
should.
games that you should go play if you're really into that type of shit?
What?
Crusader Kings.
I've
Any
heard
of the
of
Crusader
it.
Kings games.
I heard there was a Crusader Kings game with a Game of Thrones like
Maybe a mod
something you
or a
can
DLC.
mod.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it was a
Crusader
mod.
Kings 2, yeah, you most definitely get that.
I've been playing Diablo, which is not like similar, but like it's fun as fuck.
I'm so happy that we have.
Yeah, this episode's
Yeah,
wild. This is the most wild episode we ever had. This has to be like
By
a.
far.
This is special. This is a special episode.
What's your favorite Persona game? Have you played Persona?
Persona games?
Yes.
Like video games?
Yes.
What do you mean by persona?
Wait, hold on.
It's a line.
Something changed.
No.
Did you?
What are you talking about?
Oh, you're holding the mic in the other hand.
Yeah.
You're holding it in the other hand. So I don't know. I've never really played video games.
Wait, no.
He has not played those games.
Okay.
I haven't either. Oh, look.
Has anyone here played Persona?
Persona?
No.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck.
I have a
Persona
friend
is.
who's really into them, but I haven't. Sorry.
It's a game about friendship
Oh
and compassion.
shit.
and Jungian psychology.
So I'm asleep.
You're asleep. You need to be woke.
No,
Sounds
I do want to
interesting.
play it. It sounds fun. Like I've heard a lot of people tell me to play it, and no one's ever told me any of those things about it. So.
Well, see, my tactic here was that I was gonna try to switch the conversation to something nerdy that I'm good at talking about, but
I kind of want to
Didn't
know
work.
about the drugs you used to do.
180 flip.
Well, I just realized that we kind of got into like a serious-ish conversation, and we went into like
oh my god,
a deep trip.
Spiral.
I don't know.
And then I was just like,
Whatever
oh
the
wait,
fuck
you
was
were
handed to
talking
me.
about
whatever
like,
the fuck was handed to me at a party.
It was just anything.
I would literally, I don't know. There would be times where I'd just be like in a third person perspective. Like I'd float out of my own body. That type of shit. I don't know. Everything that doesn't kill you on the spot, I guess.
I was on probation for a little bit just for possession of marijuana. It was actually I feel like I always have to say this just to show how petty Concord police are. It was less than a gram.
yo, CJ came on here and said, "Fuck Concord police," and I
Fuck
was like,
Concord
I was like,
police,
police in
bro.
general. He was like, no.
Fuck Concord
Concord
police. But yeah,
crazy.
I would. They had some CBD extract at the smoke shop. I say that because like they were advertising it as such, but it wasn't.
I'm still caught off. I'm still fucked up over what drugs have you done? That's crazy.
Well, I know you said that you like had an overdose that like got you into training, and then I just like thought about it, and I was like, oh shit,
It wasn't even that wild. It was kind of more like I just wanted to, I don't know, do what everyone else was doing. I was like 18 at the time.
It starts to become really prevalent. I feel like.
It's interesting. I guess like because like I guess we've always known of each other, but we didn't
Yeah.
really like know each other. So like these things were like I saw like Count Vamp at a show. I was like, okay, cool,
Right,
Cool kid,
yeah, it
you
wasn't
know?
a personal
Always fucked
friendship.
up, like FUBAR every single time. dog.
But also like, cause I do remember you like with the makeup or like whatever at a show, people or whatever. I'm like, yo, it's a show. You know what I mean? It's like,
And honestly, that's usually when it's like, because I feel like I never got too heavy into anything, but it would be like those kind of events where I'd kind of be like, oh, I'm gonna do what everyone else is doing type shit.
Mhm.
I feel that.
That's how we did the nose beers that one time.
Fucking nose beers.
Nose beers?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's fucking
Like beer in your nose?
No, just,
Okay.
I did snort a cap full of alcohol before.
Yeah, he tried to
I
get me to
feel
do
like-
it.
Cameron Enoch was like, he did it, and then he
was I
threw-
there?
Maybe.
Or did I
I'm
just-
pretty sure
Hold
everyone
on,
was at
hold
that
on,
party,
dude.
bro.
What possesses a man? All right. What possesses a man to snort alcohol?
Someone trying to get fucked up.
So my boy
quick.
did it.
The rhythm
threw
of the
up,
night.
and I was like, "Oh shit!" Because all right, so this is what happened. We were camping, right? And we had the liquor in a styrofoam cup.
To do it.
And then there was a spider in the little thing. It was daddy long leg, you know. And I was like, nah, I don't fuck with spiders. And they were like, yeah, we got it out. I was like, all right, bet. And I had the liquor in the styrofoam cup in my hand. And then the spider crawled on me. And I went, and I squeezed it so all the liquor fell out. So then, I fumbled. But I was like, yo, y'all said you got rid of the spider. We didn't get rid of the spider. All we had was airplane bottles at that point. So my boy put some in the airplane bottle and snorted it. And then I thought he was joking. But then he threw up. And I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, yo, yeah, that shit got me drunk as fuck. And I was like, wait, right now? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, immediately? And he was like, yeah. And I was like,
Oh my
no
God.
way. And then, I was like, I was like, ugh. Oh, shit. And never again. It hurt so bad. He didn't explain how bad it fucking hurt.
Yeah.
I was like,
Why the fuck did you do that?
Like your sinuses were on fire, bro.
Oh, bro, but I feel like it cleaned anything out. Like if there was anything in there, that shit, got rid of it.
Stain your brain.
Never did it again. Don't do it.
Don't do that.
Just a warning for the audience at home. Oh my god.
Yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that. But I've never ventured into the pills or any. I get sinus infection, so I
They're
couldn't
lame as
snort
fuck.
things.
They're so lame. They just make you tired. And
Yeah.
dude, it was always down. It was rappers. Most of them are depressed.
Oh, you were kicking it with the rappers. The rappers would do it. The rappers be off the Xannies.
Yo,
The
Who are we
Bars.
kicking it with?
I'm not going to drop that name right now.
No, not a person, but why weren't we with I feel like we didn't fall in the Xanax group. What
Oh my goodness.
where were we?
Oh, weed. We were getting,
Oh, we were with the
we
stoners.
was getting high as fuck.
We were
Yeah.
stoners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you a stoner back then?
I mean, it's everything. It's just, for me, it was I just needed to take a step back from excess of
Yeah.
feeling like
Just
I needed
indulging.
to go out. Yeah, that I needed to go out and get high to have a good time, and it's just not the case. It's not that it's a bad thing to just go out and have a good time and get drunk every once in a while, but just I don't know, knowing that you can exist sober and
Yeah.
people will like you when you exist sober. It takes a lot to learn because it comes from a lot of insecurity because you go to these parties and you're so worried about what people think about you that you're getting FUBAR to get over it. But
I think it's most of the
at the end
reason
of the
why
day,
people
then
start taking drugs.
well, then you look stupider than you would have in the first place. You know?
Do you think keeping up with your Count Vamp persona is what made you feel the need to be that when you were in these places? Do you think, for me personally, being a fighter, an athlete, it makes it easier to not indulge in certain things, but it is sometimes when I'm around certain people, my rap friends who just only do drugs and not the other side.
Well, I don't know how much I could put it on just the persona rather than me being a little broken. Well, pretty broken at the time. It's a fact of, this is something I was struggling with anyways, that me putting that on myself and that expectation wasn't really a good headspace to be in creatively either. So it's kind of it's a feedback loop, right? I'm in a bad place, I feed it into my music, it comes back, and that's my perception of the world around me,
Yeah, I feel like I see that happen with artists.
Mm-hmm.
I do. That shit.
and it's I didn't like being that. If I come back to making music ever, it's gonna be happy music, just because I feel like that's more fun. It's more
Yeah.
fun to make, and I kind of put myself in this position where I just had to write angry music, spiteful music, and I wasn't even writing it to anybody. It's not like I had ops.
Right.
I did not have ops.
I say
I was
that a
writing
lot with
heartbreak
people,
songs, and I wasn't heartbroken over anyone. So it's
You think it caused you to be heartbroken? I
No,
often
not
think
really.
that. Well,
Not
no.
really.
I believe in like there's power in the tongue and shit, and I feel like when you write songs
The
that get
energy
played,
itself.
and like the more times it's played and shit, the more it's like put out there into the universe. Like I feel like there's so many things where I write about a thing that hasn't happened to me, and then like maybe it's years later, and then like it'll happen to a T.
Yeah.
And I've been a little more careful about how I write things. Now I'm like, I'll write about the past
Yeah, for
or
me it was just so
what I
it was
want.
so fucking edgy, and to me that's the part where I have the most regrets, where it's like the character and persona that I was putting on didn't really match anything about who I wanted to be as a person. I guess nowadays it does.
You're still Count Vap on
In a sense.
Instagram.
I
It was also an
Well, it's
outlet.
because it's a unique handle. I don't mind that being a part of my history, you know, and maybe even
That's
getting.
your fight name.
If people call me that, like,
That'd be dope.
that'd
Vamp.
be cool.
That's gonna be me at the fight. Get him, Vamp.
You got the vampire teeth. I mean, that hasn't changed. The reason that my namesake is still the same. I still have the pointy fang teeth, and I don't know.
It is
I
dope.
think
It's
that
unique.
nowadays, if I feel like I've created more of a synthesis between myself and how I want to portray myself to other people. Like, I'm not gonna make any secret of it. Like, I like hurting people. That part's fun. I go about it in the most morally ethical way I can do it. But at the end of the day, it feels really good when I punch someone in the face.
They get in there to have that done. I mean, it's not like they want to get punched in the face, but
Right,
You know the
and
deal?
we're both there with the same intentions, even if not from the same place of the heart. I respect every drive to fight. It's just that mine is being a little bit of a sadist, and I feel like that's a good place to be, where you can indulge in that part for yourself, but also be a good person in between that. Do your best for the people around you, you know? That type of stuff.
yeah, man.
When you say you like to hurt people, is it more than physically?
Not emotionally anymore. I don't take pride in breaking someone's
You
ego.
said
and
anymore.
Oh, anymore?
Was it at a point? Was that something you'd like to do?
What do you mean?
You said not emotionally anymore.
Oh, there's a defense mechanism. You always feel icky about it. But that's, again, like, it's, you know, going back to when you have such a narcissistic line of thinking, you're always going to take the first thing that defends you, right? Even if it's lying, even if it's manipulating people. And that's shitty. And I think what was nice was being able to find a group of people that would just call me out on it point blank, right? Things that I didn't realize that was being shitty really early into training. I had some sparring footage up between me and a teammate, and it is where it made me look good. And another teammate, Lawson, pulled me aside. And he very sternly talked to me, and he's like, "That's so disrespectful to your teammate. How do you think that makes them look? Right? You're putting that on social media like it's a highlight." And I hadn't thought about it that way, because I was just thinking about me, right? Oh, I look good in this. And for him to pull me aside, and he's like, you need to go apologize and take him down. And I was like, you're absolutely right. It's that, right? It's that one little correction where it's like, this isn't just about you. It's about the family that you're making and the people that are nice enough to invest in you as a person. In music, for me, what really took me out of all of it was that they were investing in me as an asset.
Yeah.
You can make money for this company. You and me, we can, if we collaborate on this project, we're going to get a lot of streams from it. And I don't know. I don't like that environment. I like the people a lot. They're amazing people. It's just, I don't like the environment.
No, I don't blame you. I feel like I made a decision really early on just because I enjoyed making music before I was planning on making money, because I was a kid. And I just like still even into adulthood, having to have jobs and shit or whatever I'm doing at the time. I was just like, I could never ever make a penny off of music, and I'm still gonna be making music just because I want to do it for me. And as soon as you go into the other like field of I just want to make money off of it, it's like a lot of times you're only as fulfilled as your wallet. You know,
For sure.
it's like when it goes well, it's great.
Well, and in music, I mean, nowadays it's not even just money. It's streams. It's publicity because
Yeah.
you have to go through basically like an amateur fighter's career. You know what I mean? Where it's like we're in that SoundCloud stage. When he walks by, I have to thank him for his performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, bro, what's your name?
Jacob, thank you so much. This has been the best episode ever.
You
We're not
killed it.
being sarcastic. It actually did add like a lot of like comedic value to this episode.
And vibes were up.
Vibes are up. Appreciate you, my boy.
You said what?
Come on in. Come on in. He's a guest star.
What's
Hello.
good, bro?
What's going on?
Come here.
It's a setup.
This is great.
Yeah.
Should I just pull up a chair? Or like,
Oh
Yeah.
my fucking
Yeah.
God. Yes. Get over here.
should y'all have like a surprise like guest?
Yeah.
I know.
It's amazing.
Probably smell like shit.
Nah, you're
I just
good.
came from. Big night
Okay, well, we
party
need to
and-
put the boom
Hell
mic
yeah.
in between the two chairs now.
You said you probably smell like shit.
Yeah.
That was an
Why?
intense drumming.
feel you.
Blacking out, you know.
That was a lot of intense drumming.
Got in for the practice anyways. Said I got fucked up last night. Still gonna
I
put
didn't
some
know what y'all.
hours
I didn't know if
in.
y'all were just talking here or like.
Nah,
I didn't
you're
wanna-
good.
Oh my God, the shot's perfect too.
I met for real. I met two of the guys that rehearse in there.
Caleb and
Tyler? Yeah.
yeah,
they're
Caleb's
dope.
our lead and Tyler's our bass.
That's right. He did say he was learning bass. I forgot. He was sitting at the drums, I think, when I came in, and so I
Sacrifice
was
my mic for a second.
confused.
There you go, brother.
Oh, I was over here mixing his mic for both of them.
I can also like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can give him
you
this
can swing
mic.
that one back to me.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just I'm.
So do y'all have like band? Like, have y'all been or?
We haven't played any gigs.
I
yet.
say band. Like, I don't know. In my mind, it's like, do y'all have a name?
We don't even have a name. No. we don't have
Okay,
a name.
that was my question. All right, I feel that.
we're
But you
still-
play music.
Oh yeah, we're all really good. It's just a matter of getting the practice time in
Yeah.
because we're having a hard time, finding
Yeah, you can have a
good time
group of
for everyone to
like
get in.
the best fucking musicians, and I feel like you got to get some time together if you want to do
Because
something
if the
live.
chemistry going.
exactly. Yeah, if the chemistry's not right.
Yeah.
Well, the jazz in the background was really setting the mood for this episode.
I was hoping it would
That shit
was
was
kicking for y'all.
Yeah, what was your partying like last night?
Oh, it was just from some friends. We
Just,
kicked back. It
you-
wasn't like a ridge or anything. but-
Okay, you said you all fucked up.
But
I
we
was
go
like,
we go
"Goddamn."
too hard.
That's fire.
I
Go too hard. I feel that. When I do decide to party, I go pretty hard.
Mhm.
I don't party often, and then like I try to, then I'm like, fuck, I'm not even what I used to be. I'm a lightweight
How-
now.
But
I
I still
know
try
I'm a
to keep
lightweight
up with the
now.
same
Right?
tendencies.
I keep up with the old me. I'm like, old me would be like, you a bitch.
I spark, and that's. I still don't even
Opposite
smoke
way
as much as I
around.
used to, but
Old
like,
me would think I was so cool, and I would
Yeah.
just beat the shit out of him. It's so bad.
I just
So-
don't drink.
So what's everyone's name?
Matthew.
How do you, oh, me, Devin. My name's Devin.
Devin.
I'm Smudge.
Blake.
Samaj.
Yeah.
Blake.
Yep.
And your
What about
name
you?
again?
Jacob.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Yo, this is the most wild podcast.
How long you been drumming?
Like 2 months.
Dope.
Oh, really?
Pretty good for 2 months in.
Thank you.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Why'd you start 2 months ago?
Well, the Guitar Center is close to the university, so I'll go to the Guitar Center. I was playing on the electric kit until Caleb came in, asked me to drum for him, for the band. So I was like, yeah,
That's
of course.
crazy.
Of course I want to drum
No better way.
for a band.
So we're just talking to a prodigy on this episode? That's crazy.
We are
from
always
it.
like I've never played drum set really. Like if I sit down in one, I'll play it. But I'm mostly like we both make music.
Mhm.
I do most of my shit just on drum pads or using my keyboard just in the computer.
Mhm.
But we'll probably talk to you about some drum and shit.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's just one thing we always need like live. I just
Yeah.
can't. We can't both be playing like multiple instruments and shit.
Mhm.
I don't know anything about music. I'm like tone deaf.
Get out of here.
This guy.
I just met him
Dance
today,
training.
but he used to make music.
Were you
and-
guys boxing before I?
Oh.
No, that.
When I started playing rock, that's when y'all started moshing with the gloves on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It got crazy in here.
Mm.
Nah,
We went like 5 rounds.
they both do MMA. and we were talking about that shit.
What are you talking? I'm a civilian. I've never hit anyone before. What are
Civilians
you talking
Who was
about?
talking
dude?
about the snap down wrestling? Who's a wrestler?
Oh, I think I mentioned it earlier. They were showing me a video. I used to wrestle.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you wrestle?
I did my senior year of high school, yeah.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah.
But
So you enjoy
That's
this
a wild time to
conversation.
come in too.
it is crazy time to come out. I wrestled the 160.
Ooh.
I got it was I had some really good matchups. I'm not
Yeah,
even
how'd you
gonna
like
lie.
it?
It was really fun.
I started when I was like.
How old do you know?
I'm 19.
You should fight people.
I should
I mean,
with
honestly,
those gloves.
I got another pair.
shit.
They're in the bag over there. Go grab them. Go grab the gloves in the red
Don't
bag.
start sparring
No, we don't have to fight. We don't have to fight.
right here. They're just in the
In the phone
pocket.
booth. In the phone booth.
Phone
But
booth sparring.
yeah, I love those videos. Have you seen the car fights?
Yes, I have.
That shit's
Bro.
crazy.
Gotta get the
Amazing.
seatbelt.
That shit is crazy.
What are the
Oh,
That's just some dude we
bro,
fuck with.
get the fuck out of here.
I mean, dude, I'm such a huge fan of Samaj Sinclair. Like, he's genuinely one of
By
the
the
coolest.
biggest-
Shut up.
Artist out of Charlotte.
No, I manage this guy.
Yeah.
what is this like modeling?
Nah.
No, these
I
are just
mean,
for like
I guess
promotional
technically,
photos.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was modeling in all these, and then I made flyers for shows with the QR code. We just put them around the city for marketing.
I always see him at the Noto studio.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're in the
Stickers
fashion.
got no
tired.
color, but they're there.
Yeah, so all that stuff, the wardrobe, that's for like when we do like fashion shows, we do like thrifting and shit like that.
I actually got to model one time. Well, I say that I've been in some shoots for people, but like as far as like wearing some shit and it was for a show of his, it was dope.
Absolutely.
That was a lot of fun.
Got to do the walk.
It was not a top tier walk, but
Nah, it was the best.
I had a
walk I've seen.
blast. And then we played a live set, and it's
Yep.
dope.
It was.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get you on the podcast for real one of these days. You get
Yeah.
your own episode. Here, bro. Let me get your contact, because we, like you said, we are always looking.
Plugging the next episode in the
drama.
episode that he just made a guest appearance on. Is
Yeah, right.
great.
Making plans. Fucking.
Yo, big moves.
This is as real as it gets, though. That's why people love our podcast.
I say.
Because they're just like
They're
they're not
funny,
putting
bro.
on a show for us.
I heard you.
No, this is genuine, authentic, no gaslighting involved, programming, and you know it's family friendly too.
Yeah.
This episode.
we feel like a
Bring your
family,
fucking kids, man.
and
like,
we're pretty friendly.
Yes.
I'm pretty friendly to.
Wait, you can't say that after saying "bring your fucking kids."
Yeah.
Bring your fucking.
Be
Is that
careful
a
how you
move?
place his next words in this sentence.
That's my fault.
Yeah, and I'll send you a shit so you know it's me.
Oh god.
Oh, Yox box. Hell yeah. Oh, I'm bleeping that. They can't know where we be
Nah,
at.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's all good.
This place is still like a hidden gem.
Yeah.
We are gatekeeping this, and there's not a fucking thing you can do about it. I had to travel 40 minutes to get up here.
That's
well,
real.
The thing is,
Go on,
these
go on.
episodes are like months ahead. Like,
Yeah.
like,
And filmed in a secret location in a bunker underneath fucking mountains of security. Like,
Just
bro,
for
if
the
you
pod.
try to find us, you will be shot
Yeah.
on site for trespassing.
we have
okay.
3 security guards.
There's, dude,
Right there.
off frame, right over there, dog. There's an attack dog right there. All right.
It's true. He bit me.
we just talking about this is real. This is the real.
This is as real as it
podcast.
gets.
We're steering far away from it.
Hi everybody.
No
Welcome
gaslighting.
to our descent into insanity.
Madness and badness combination.
He's had enough.
Good to meet you, bro.
He's had enough.
I appreciate you. man.
Appreciate
Nice to
you,
meet
dog.
Take care,
Have
bro.
a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you.
You skateboard or you just dress like
I do
that?
skate. I do skate.
I bet.
Just dressed.
Say less.
I know you leave him, but I was like, I gotta ask.
So.
Nah.
Alright, see ya.
Take care,
Take
man.
it easy, bro.
9 round.
Yes.
That's
This
where
is
all
to
the
plug
bodies
my.
go.
This is to plug my new place to work. I'm a trainer at 9 Rounds Valentine. You should come.
There'd be a lot of high school shorties in there.
In there?
Yep.
Working out?
I just remember being in high school and all the shorties going at 9 round.
Really?
Yep.
Is that true? Is that what happens? What's your like clientele?
Okay, mostly. Kind of
Moms?
variety of people. Mostly moms and dads. We're in Valentine, and things are slower in general right now, anyways.
Got that money out there.
All types of people are coming
Got
in
that
though.
mama
Like,
money.
I mean, 9 rounds is good for anyone because
Yeah.
it's a true cardio session, right? Like, it's like there's no real breaks. You get a 30-minute like pure conditioning session, and then we're here to modify. Like if you came in, for example, then you wouldn't be doing necessarily what corporate gives us for the workout. I'd be giving you a workout because you're a fighter, that type of deal.
I always wondered how it worked for fighters because I was like,
I just figured it was more for
Technically, you
the
can go into
general
9
public.
rounds and do whatever
I didn't
you
think
want.
it was based for fighters at all. I didn't know that at all.
I mean, you absolutely
That's cool.
use it. Like
They'll
I'm
make, like,
going to be
program
using
for you.
it
That's
for.
pretty sick.
I'm using it for camp. Like I'll use the stations in the gear there. Not a lot of like even fighter gyms don't really have the gear that 9 rounds has unless you're going to a boxing gym.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to sharpen up your hands, you really want to sharpen up your conditioning. Swear to be.
this is really a plug for 9 Round. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should
Please
sponsor
come to
this
9
show.
rounds.
Sponsor.
Oh, and you know what the funny thing about everything that I just said is, corporate can't see this because this episode is cursed, and I've said multiple things that.
Oh, they're like, I don't want this motherfucker working there.
Not even that they'd
They're like,
fire
"We'll
me.
sponsor
They're not gonna
it,
fire
but-"
me. It's at least I hope not. I don't think they would fire me. I think that it's more
Assuming
that
they will
like
sponsor
I don't
you.
know. I don't think that they would want their brand associated with that.
Hey, they gotta know they got real people working for them.
Yeah.
Real people. Yeah, the real people.
The 9
They
round
said we're
plug,
looking
the
into
9
AI.
round plug on the same episode as what drugs have you done is crazy.
That's real.
9 rounds of them.
9 rounds of them.
Oh,
You want to know the drugs I've done?
What drugs have you done?
Not much. The Mary Jane, shrooms, acid.
Acai.
Oh, I love acai. I fuck with acai so heavy.
My
Yeah,
girl
I've
gives me
kept
the real
it pretty
deal right now.
simple, bro. Like I'm not, like I feel like people thought I did more drugs than like I do, but like I be out here. I didn't drink till I was like a little older. I had a point in my time where I was really on my Rastafari shit. So like
Yeah.
I've just always smoked, and then like things don't always work with smoking, so it didn't. I was
Yeah.
already smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I'm on my Viking warrior arc.
What's
Like
that?
I'm connecting with my my Irish ancestors and Viking invader ancestors.
I told someone he was part Viking today.
Irish Vikings?
Yeah, dude.
There's no such thing as Irish Vikings.
Yeah, okay.
Irish
I'm
and
not
Vikings.
a Viking, bro.
Oh. I feel.
I just
bro,
feel
You're
like
trying to say I'm a Viking?
There's the like I was trying to be careful to make a distinction between the two,
I mean,
Irish
there was
and
a separate-
a
Vikings.
lot
Yeah.
of people have
Okay.
like
There were a lot of like don't get me wrong, there were Danish like
the Vikings like
like the Isle of Man, for example, was like Vikings and shit.
I feel like they went places and they forcefully impregnated people.
Oh, yeah.
So
No,
a
you're-
lot of
Are
people
you joking? Yeah, duh.
have Viking ancestry, I'm
Yeah.
sure. That if you're
Most
from
do.
Europe, especially if it's coastal, you probably do.
It's like Genghis Khan, dog. Like
Yeah.
like what?
Again,
He had the most
The pussy.
ridiculous amount of.
I'm telling you.
That's one of the quickest ways to like wipe out a culture, and it's honestly insane. It's super sick, obviously. Like I'm not,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's a real tactic that's been used for hundreds, thousands of years.
Men are wild.
And in a sense, even the tribal.
So what's that say about, like, what's going on right now, though? Because, like, right now we have the lowest, like, fertility rates in people our age.
Wait, what do you
Because
mean?
bro.
So the vice,
Well, I
the
mean,
exact
that's-
opposite.
that's
You're
we're
saying
having
the
less
very
kids.
different.
The
That is
main
a
reason
very
for
different-
war is pussy, but nowadays motherfuckers ain't even getting pussy. They ain't even fucking.
But
I
it's
just
not
feel like it's the
about like
context
again
of the way the world's
everything
going
in the
now.
everything from like as soon as we had. Well, again, this goes back into most fights or like most wars are fought over things like land or resources, or money, but like
It was never over a woman.
there have historically been historic wars over women. It's not that they don't happen.
big wars over women.
There have been very big wars
Huge
over women,
ones.
which is so funny to think about.
Like
Like an
someone
like an
someone
honest to
else's wife
god
type
war
shit.
over like over a queen or something. That's
Bro, that's Mario's whole reason. For, like,
when they capture the queen.
I recently got my girl a Switch, and she loves playing Mario, and I'm learning the storyline. And
That's
I was
wild.
like, oh, damn, they just pulled up and stole his shorty.
Yeah.
You should.
No
you should,
security, nothing.
Like, they
Just
just,
scooped her up.
You
that's
should buy her
crazy.
Persona 5.
Persona 5.
Yeah, you should buy her Persona 5 Royal. You should let her play that game.
Let her. I will let her. I will allow her to play.
Oh wait, we gotta take that out. Clip it. Don't clip it. Oh fuck.
Yo, all right. So
Sorry.
you're really with the shits, right? You said, I feel like you're really pro everything, pro people.
I'm pro people. I mean, yeah. I'm like been a leftist for a while. Just makes the most sense, you know.
I feel like by wanting better for people, you get lumped into what like the political spectrum calls being on the left. It's like, yeah, I think
No,
most of
like
my-
I have actively leftist like beliefs. Like my worldview is centered around rights for the worker and rights for the underclass.
Yeah, I just feel like by wanting better for people, you're automatically
Yeah,
leftist.
like
And
that's
it's
a
like-
sensible take. I would prefer that capitalism works for the people and not for the people at the top. And I'll be honest, that's a very moderate take to a lot of countries, but here not so much.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is. For me, I don't like being a white guy talking about politics, especially not when there's other voices that are doing it more eloquently than me. So I'd rather just plug people that I think are saying the right shit. So that's it. I mean, that's as far as I go, because I'm also a stupid man. Like, I am a stupid person. I'm unapologetic. And you know what? The more brain damage I take throughout my career, I will get dumber and less apologetic about it. So I would rather the people that, like, you know.
That's fair. I like to like admit when I don't know some shit or I just don't have the most educated opinion on it.
Well, I like to think that I know a lot. That's why I have such strong convictions. It's just, like, I stay informed, and I'm well informed about world politics and sociology. It's just that also I think that I'm not the person that could put it in a way that would be adequately describing it, right?
It's best when people tell their own stories, I think.
And yes, authentically. Like, I could talk all day about the plights of any given minority, but ultimately at the end of the day, I cannot experience it.
Yeah.
So
You've
for
never
me-
been black?
No, literally. I don't think. I mean, what do you think?
I don't know.
We can't assume.
I don't
You know,
know. Yeah.
my memory's really hazy, but
Do you believe in past lives?
I
No
think it's a
MJ
fair assumption.
moves.
I think it's a fair assumption to assume that I am not Mike Perry.
Whoa, what about Mike Perry?
Mike Perry's
Someone
African,
explain.
dude. He's the
He's still
he's
Am I
the
gonna get in
African
trouble
champ.
for
What are you
saying
talking
he's
about?
still white? Is he actually like
He's black.
okay, so I always get
Maybe.
I always
Maybe
get
a little bit.
frustrated, like, and I know we're joshing, but
I thought he was albino.
just the ideas of like white and black, like they don't have a lot of grounding. Like, you know, you can go a lot of different places in the world and find very dark people that, depending on where you are at, like in that country, they're probably looked at as black. If they come here, some people might, you know, call them black. Some people might be like, oh no, that person's Indian or that person's Brazilian. But it's just like, that's what I mean. Like, it's so like finicky. And just like how 100 years back, even now, like all white people weren't just like all white people. They had much bigger beefs. Like it's more of a modern day issue.
Yeah,
To
they
where
were
like
they were
whiteness became
There's a lot
a
of
safety blanket to where they
Right.
could band together under. There was a lot more division.
There's a lot of
before.
writing on this about how specifically white nationalism erased a lot of ethnicities in America, where it's like we
Yeah.
just kind of became the white mutt. It's an important distinction to make, that it's like that's kind of the effect of this now, is that there is a genuine just default whiteness because of the efforts put in by white nationalists. That's
Yeah.
now an institution in this country. And it's always valid to lament it, I just think that we also have to be realistic about how ingrained it is.
It's
into
yeah, it's
American
there.
society.
It's kind of like I hate that guns exist, but they
so
already
we,
exist.
So we work around it and discuss it from that lens. Like I remember I had like this little phase where I fully rejected my whiteness and I was like, no, I'm Irish, and I think that's. I mean,
Not laughing at
like
that.
I mean, no,
I get what
it
you
is
mean,
it is
it's funny because
it is
it's
funny
such a, like-
because you want that spicy whiteness, you know what I mean? But like you also have to understand that just because of the efforts that have been put in by people that aren't you, that this is just where we're at. And in the grand scheme of things, that's still a better deal. Like I can't really complain about it in the scope of all the bad things that are happening to communities that aren't as privileged as me. So,
Yeah.
ultimately it's like that's my take on everything, where it's like, you know, people should be informed on how the systems that govern our society were formed and what they come from, and how they
Yeah,
were
brother.
instituted. And I don't know what you do with that information is your business. If you read all that shit and you're like, yeah, racism is
Right.
good, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
I was talking about that with my girl the other day. I was like, I can tell everyone or tell someone like everything I believe that makes me feel a certain way, and they could hear it all and just not feel the same way. That's life.
yeah, I mean, and to that point, going back to it, it's like the idea of Irishness was like when we got here, when the Irish got to America, it was no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. That's what you'd see on signs.
Yeah, they were
did
very
not-
discriminated against.
They didn't like it.
A lot of the
But it didn't
impoverished European
take them-
nations.
It didn't take them very long to assimilate. 'Cause
No.
the objective was never about just making them feel alienated. They wanted more white people to bolster the idea of white supremacy in the country. Like, people forget about this, is that was like a legitimate political movement that had like people in Congress on that
Yeah.
platform around the idea of white supremacy.
and in
that's
all
what got
state
you-
government.
Yeah, like we have to understand the power that these institutions had, because like so many people, like even moderates, quote unquote, will reject the ideas that they put out, and I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, you have to understand, like, no way that this country is racist. We like killed racism in 1960. You know what I mean? That type of shit. That type of argument. It's like, how do you think an institution that large, that it was getting people nominated into office, how do you think that just goes away overnight?
It's kind of like Nazis. Like, people talk about that. Like, one of the biggest like myths is that they all just were gone after the war and they just all disappeared.
Most of them are in Argentina.
Yeah, a lot of them are in South America and just different parts of the world where they went and
Just vibing.
kept doing the same shit.
There are so
Studying,
many German
experimenting.
surnames in Argentina now. There's a lot of German surnames in Argentina, which is,
wild.
I can't say funny. I can't say that that's funny.
I think wild's a good one.
Wild.
Thank you. Wild. Wild is perfect.
It is wild. But yeah, no, a lot of
my
people do
Christ.
try. They want to sweep something that feels overwhelming under the rug. I feel like that happens in our personal lives and on very big scale too.
That was a bar.
That was fire.
Thank you.
You ever think about shaving your head?
Yeah, I just did it
I
not
don't
that
think
long
about shaving
ago.
my head.
I shaved my head last summer.
You saw it like right after
I
shaved
shaved
it.
mine once.
You should
and-
do it. Do it yourself
I
too.
digged it.
Oh, it was so bad, dude. I looked like an egg.
That's part of it.
Yeah. I
You
wasn't
gotta
a
accept
fan.
that.
How's your beard? Can you grow it out? It feels
There's
better
a-
when you have a
I was just
beard.
thinking that. I was
There's
like,
a
It feels better.
There's a patch right here and right here where I literally can't grow hair.
I mean,
so
it kind
my-
of same. Like my shit got
Dude,
a little.
but I'm so scuffed. I'm so scuffed. So imagine like an oval right around here.
You
And
just
it
gotta.
grows everywhere else. It grows here, and then I get like a little goatee that's separated by like a V shape that goes into my sideburn.
That's kind of how my shit is, honestly.
It's yours, but imagine it even more
Even
pronounced.
less, yeah.
Yeah, like down to like the bottom of the goatee.
You just gotta rock with it. Sometimes, like,
Yeah.
I'll see a wild beard, and I'll just be like, "Damn, it's like he can only rock that because it grows that way."
Counterpoint. I enjoy looking handsome. I really do.
Respect.
Like I
feel like whenever I shave my head, it's
I like
to
feeling
shed those kinds of
attractive.
things.
No, I don't need
Like,
that.
I'm just like, yeah, I definitely like. I've gone
Going
through
on your
periods
ugly
where like
art.
I don't even look in the mirror type shit. Not because I don't like what I see, just because like I don't want that to even be where my head's at.
Oh my
It's
God.
not where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I felt.
But there's definitely been times in my life where I was just like, I don't know, it's cute either way. You know, it'd be all right. But I just like, I don't know. I grew up with, you know, half of my family being conservative, like kind of traditional Southern white family, and your shit's ironed, your shit's tucked. Like, we don't want you wearing this, don't want you wearing that. Your hair needs to be combed this way, cut this way. And I just didn't like that shit. And as soon as I could get out of it, I grew my shit out. And then I grew it out until it was long as fuck. And then I was just like, I've been so worried about this hair. I want to be not worried about it at all. And I'm going to shave it off my head.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, all like my family never wanted me to grow my hair out. And then when I cut it, they're just like, I can't believe you cut it. It looks so good, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like,
You're like, get out of here.
When I cut mine, I think I just really wanted to try it, and it looked bad, and I realized it looked bad, and I never did it.
I was
again.
pretty scared because like I hated having a buzz when I was little, like a little kid. I always
Bald
thought I
guy
looked
told me I
rough.
could rock a bald head. And
I
ever
just
since
wanted the
then,
hair out of my
just
eyes when
waiting
I was
to go
training.
bald.
Yeah, you could rock it. I feel like you guys can all rock it.
I can't.
I don't want the
You should
baldy.
see. You should
I
see
want
the
a better
photos.
beard.
It's bad.
You should
like
rock
I
a
look
bald
like
head,
a
bro.
Nah.
You got a full beard. Why not?
I
That'd be
couldn't.
fire, bro. Shine
I
that
can't even
shit
lie,
up.
yo.
Have it
I really can't
squeaking.
lie. Like, I look like
The weekend. Look like she
You
look
had the
green.
clean mean.
Oh yeah, like I looked. No, not clean
Think
like
about
that,
how
but
much
it was
harder it's gonna
Yeah.
be to like
This
get
is
you in
real
a
low.
guillotine
Oh,
with
man,
a
it was
shined
bad.
ass head.
It was bad.
But if you have hair, you got grip. You know.
True,
They
slip
going-
out.
yeah.
Start oiling yourself.
Slip
Yeah.
out.
Just
Sometimes my
Vaseline
hair
that
do be
hair.
Get rid
getting in
of
the
all
way when
body
I'm
hair.
doing like
That shit
jujitsu.
hurt.
Like someone will like have my hair where I'm like I could move my head, but like it hurts, and I don't want you
Damn.
fucking my braids up.
This is wild, but like I used to just, you know, I went to UNCC and I would go to different colleges to party and shit. And I feel like at every college I've seen this same fucking guy with no hair and no eyebrows, no
Oh
no
my
body
God.
hair at all.
Like
They're all
black
caramel tone, like not very dark.
Bro,
Like
I know a
maybe,
lot
like
of-
I don't know where, hella like racially ambiguous or ethnically ambiguous.
Just know nothing.
Racially
Why am I
ambiguous.
seeing him?
No, nothing. You can see him. I know you can see him because he's at every college, bro. It's just like it's like an NPC,
specter.
like just
He
like
hasn't
a,
finished loading in
it's
yet.
an
Don't bully
archetype.
him.
It's just like an archetype. They fill the numbers with so that when you go to a college, it looks like what a college is supposed to look like. Go to
Yeah.
college. Go to like
That's his
3
career.
colleges in a year and just look at people, and you're gonna feel like you see them again at that next college. Nowhere else.
No, I feel that. Colleges are weird, especially
Yeah.
because of like depending on what town you're in, like what town the college is in. Like Charlotte colleges are different than like
ECU
colleges
even.
and like ECU or App or
There's
like.
nothing around.
I've really only
there.
been to like a state party, NC State.
Mm.
So
I
ECU is
partied at
like,
UNC Greensboro.
How's that?
It was
yeah, how
fun.
was that?
It was actually really fun.
I
They were
could
nice
see
up
that. UNCG's got like it just
Oh,
always seems like
UNC
shit
gay.
going on.
there. I mean, it's a gay school. It was fun. Like,
Like what would you call that? A college?
College? Nah, bro. I went to I used to go to Asheville, and
Asheville's definitely got the queer population's up.
Yeah.
Bro.
And I love it.
I went to school in Asheville, and I had a gay roommate, and he literally would not let me kick it with like him and his friends because like I wasn't gay, and I was like, I understand.
He said you're way too
I understand, like
straight.
you guys came, like you guys have like a group thing, and
I feel like you're not even like you're straight, but like you're not like overbearingly heterosexual.
yeah, right. Like I'm like you could question it. Like I dress well, you know.
He's the nails done.
You were upset you couldn't hang out.
I was just kind of
I
like,
just want to be one of the gays.
not even that. Like I just moved to a new place, you know. Like,
Right.
The gays
and
were
then
fun.
like
he
it's
said
like
you live with me, but you can't hang with
right.
me.
That's where you make your first friends. I'm like, okay, I'm in college. Like my roommates, one of them was a gay dude who didn't like. It's not like he wouldn't hang out with me, but like he was just always doing stuff with his other friends, and I couldn't join. And the other kid was a Baptist.
oh my god.
Yeah,
How did
I
that go?
visited once, and it was the vibes were wild.
So fucking weird. It's like this fucking episode.
we
just
smoked
all
with
over the place.
bro though.
You straight up lived in a sitcom for a little while.
Yeah. It was
That's the
interesting.
setup to a joke. So
Yeah.
A black guy, a gay guy, and a Baptist all moving
All
to an
room
apartment.
together.
Literally.
You don't have to. There's no
Pitch that
punchline.
like to like HBO or something.
There's no
It-
punchline.
Like I don't have any dialect because like we just didn't do much together.
Well,
I
and,
was
like,
like,
Make
I would,
shit
like-
up. That is a gold mine for comedy.
Let's start writing it.
All right, bet.
What's funny is like how not funny it would have been. Like if there were just camera, like if you actually recorded the experience.
Nah, there would have been funny moments, but it would have just been like it's more like awkward. Just like these people
Cringe.
should not like. It was like like it was like student living.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we filled out a questionnaire. How
Yeah.
did like we end up being the like roommates? Like I didn't dislike them. They like it was actually pretty cool while I lived there.
Like, were they able to get along at least?
Yeah, no one beefed.
Okay.
I feel like no one really kicked it either.
Yeah, like John would be like, I was smoking like a chimney, and John was like afraid of it, like so.
John the Baptist. Oh my god.
Just
Yeah.
paranoid. He's not even high. Just sitting over there like this motherfucker's smoking.
One time I gave him
John
a
was a
shot.
Gay guy. That's crazy.
One time
No,
I
that's
gave him
Max.
a shot. Yeah,
Max is dope.
and his name was like Maxim or something.
Maximilian.
Maximilian is.
But I would always see him and be like Maximiliano, and one day he was like, "Why do you call me that?" I was like,
I thought you liked it.
Max is
Yo,
cool.
What do you mean? You got enough content. That's a whole episode right here.
but those are all the episodes. Like, there's
I swear to God, that's like an episode of New Girl. I swear to God.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Nah, it was cool though. I like going to school in Asheville. When we went to a party at App,
Mhm.
that was the only time. Like, cause all right, so ECU parties, like you're not getting in there if you got a penis.
No,
Like-
if you don't know someone in there, you're not getting in there, and even so, you might not be getting in there.
We went to parties at App, and they were letting us in, like giving us house
Inviting
tours
us in.
and like giving
Frats,
us drinks.
like-
Yeah, frats, proper
It
frats.
was crazy.
This is so
I guess
funny.
we were with some girls.
And we were in the mountains and shit. Yeah, we had as many girls as guys. We brought a girl each.
Yeah, it wasn't like a ratio.
Still, that's not
thing.
working. That's
At
not working at
ECU?
ECU.
No.
They said, y'all go ahead and come in. Y'all can't. Straight like that. And the girls will
literally.
go ahead and go in. And then you're just like,
Let's go find another fucking
yeah,
party.
just keep walking around. And you run into someone on the sidewalk, just like definitely not there.
So
A whole
fucked
group
up.
of people just like
Oh my
barely
God.
conscious.
That was
Yo.
that's such a wild time walking around and seeing people. That
So many
fucked
people
up.
What's so,
so
funny
fucked
is that,
up.
like, so I always knew someone at the frat parties that I've been to because I didn't go to college. I fight people. Like that's all I've learned to do. And the entire time they'd be like, "Rush the frat, rush the frat, rush the frat." And I was like, I don't go to school. Like I'm just valid here. Like when it was
That was us
It
at
was
ECU.
Pi Cap over at Winthrop. I think that Pi Cap. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
Pike.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's Pi Kappa.
Yeah, okay. I would just be hanging out in some of the rooms, and they'd be like, "So why don't you like rush Pi Cap?" And I was like, "Could I if I don't go to college?" And they're like, "No." Do you go here? And I was like, "No."
They're like, "Why
Y'all
are
just
you
been letting me
here?"
hang around as a pet.
That's funny as fuck.
I was in Winthrop to shoot a short film, so
The
like one of the
RA
guys
was
in the
trying to
frat.
write us up at ECU. We're like, bro, we don't even live
That's
within 2
wild.
hours of here. He was
Oh
like,
my
guys, for
God.
real, just tell me like,
What's
tell
the
me where
room
you stay.
number?
What room are you?
That's
like,
so funny.
You're just like, dude, we're not trying to get out of it.
We don't go here.
We don't go here. Yeah, bro. I was like, we're from Charlotte. I literally think I showed him my ID.
Yeah, it was.
We
a
told
lot.
him your name was Sebastian. I don't remember.
I
what
was
said
pretty
my name
fucked
was.
up though.
I'm screaming.
I was throwing up.
The reason I was valid at UNC Greensboro is because my girlfriend's was an RA there, and
Right.
one of the frat, like the vice president, it's in her dorm, so we would just come over because we weren't gonna cause any problems.
Right.
We just come over there and it'd be lit every time.
That's fire.
So
Man, the ECU dorms are greasy and just fucking crazy. I feel like
I
we
couldn't
never
do
knew
a
what
party
we were
like
gonna
that.
see.
Like that just feels too icky. I guess.
Oh no, I
we would go to the
never do
houses.
that
We never
now.
did any dorm parties.
The-
But still, I wouldn't do it now.
Yeah,
I just
There's
also
some
like
dorm
the club
pre-gaming.
nowadays.
I kinda
You do?
hate it.
I do.
I like. It depends on the club. It depends on what I'm doing and why I'm there.
I just like going to dance.
Yeah, like in a jig on. What kind of club though?
I went to World last night.
I've heard about World.
What kind of music they playing at the club you going to?
It was a Latino night last night. So
I was about to say Peso Pluma was at World recently.
yeah. I mean, shit. Speaking of, a lot of Peso Pluma being played right now. Latino bars.
I like how you say Latino.
Huh?
Latino. Like I said, I like how you said it. Latino. I'm just hearing it in my ear. It's like you whispered it to me.
Sorry. You want me to talk like sensually?
That's what I like. The fucking like ghost breath. You believe in ghosts?
Do I believe in ghosts? I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Interception.
So my thing is this. There's a quote that I really like. I'm going to have to paraphrase it because I don't remember it. It's a little unlikely that ghosts are real, but if they are, it's even more unlikely that the number one thing that they're doing with their time is haunting middle-class white people.
What else would they haunt Hispanic people?
That's true.
That's facts.
Because people like they're no like first off they're gonna call the cops. The cops aren't gonna pull up.
Don't get my Cuban family talking about ghost stories, for real.
I don't know.
So what
I
you
don't think
believe?
there's ghosts,
you
but
don't.
I think there's spirits that might be trapped in the realm, in a sense. One may call it a ghost, sure, but yeah.
I'd have to see it. It goes for a lot of things for me where it's just like it's not like I'm gonna reject it. I'm agnostic about ghosts, you know? If they're hanging around, they're hanging around. Shut the fuck up.
That's your stomach.
That was
so
me.
loud.
There's
few
a lot of
episodes
stuff that
ago.
I feel like is like just as likely as unlikely. It's like we think it's unlikely because it sounds so crazy to us, but we have no concept of afterlife or we have what we do have. That's not totally true. Like we have concepts of it, but we don't have any like here's a vlog. I went to the afterlife. Let me show you.
Yeah, they're all
like
constructs. They're all social
it's like
afterlife
it's like
for 24
someone's divine
hours.
experience or like something metaphysical, which literally like just beyond what we can perceive. And so like sometimes people be talking about ghosts. Like my mom was talking about ghosts or some shit. And I don't remember what we said, but she was like, "Oh, ghosts don't do that, or they can't do that." And I was just like,
"Yo, first off, who made you the mayor of ghosts?"
Right? Basically, I was just like, "We have no
She's a ghostologist.
idea. You know, it could be."
Is there a word for that actually?
Well,
Okay,
then do you guys believe in
there's
like
demonologists,
possessions?
so
yeah, like that.
And I kind of feel like
So then, what possesses the person?
I don't know
A
because
spirit.
I've
That is
growing
not-
up. So I grew up in like
Which is a ghost.
what's
That's
the
one
church
way.
Pentecostal churches where they be like screaming and shit like that. So I've seen people be I don't want to say quote unquote possessed, but I've seen people act out type shit. And but in those churches they also like don't believe in mental illness either. Like if someone's having a psychotic breakdown, they're gonna like throw holy water on them. So like I don't know that's always
facts.
hard. I've always been
And, like,
like,
can
are
it be
people
both?
Can it be both? I don't know. Like, because I do believe in
think-
possessions, but I'm also like, what if this person's just
I
like
think it-
mentally?
What if that's
I just think that
it's
anything-
hand in hand. I don't think someone can be possessed without having some type of also illness to make them weak enough to be possessed by somebody.
Maybe.
I mean, not to
Maybe.
discredit anything. For me, it's always about like, it's about personal responsibility. So if someone's possessed and they do something like people tried to imply that Charles Manson was possessed, does that change any of his
right? It's a way to shrug
complicitness
accountability.
in a bunch of truly atrocious murders, right? So it's those
Well, you
kind of
can't
things.
tell a cop like, yo, that I had a demon in me.
I know, but it's as far as how the public
Perceives it, yeah.
It's
I don't
bigger
think
than that.
You think so? I guess that
Most of the
depends.
public
Are
definitely
people
thought
possessed?
that bro was possessed.
Are people ever evil, or is it all possession?
Hell no, it's not. It's definitely not the
Well,
latter.
then, have you guys
Right.
heard about the show The Crowded Room right now? 'Cause
Nah.
This shit plays into this as well, but it's also like multiple personality.
Okay.
This guy,
Tom Holland.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you about it. You got to watch it. It's worth it.
I saw him.
okay.
I saw the back shots.
Get the fuck out of here.
I heard about the back shot.
That shit's crazy.
People lost
I be
their
on
minds.
Twitter. I seen
But that
that.
show was
don't you mean
made
X?
from a documentary of a real person. Like all that shit had happened
Little
from
start.
stem of a source, at least. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it. I just feel like It's one of those things we can theorize about, but we really don't know. Because even if we're talking about things we do have concepts of, we have the idea, whether from pop culture or religious history, of possession and entities and spirits. We have the scientific breakthroughs of mental illness, chemical imbalances, and what that can do to your brain and different disorders. That's what we know. And we didn't even know that shit before.
Yeah.
So, like, we wouldn't have had those ideas. We would have thought something else. So it's just like, it could be so far beyond anything we have concepts of right now. Maybe not. It could be way more simple than anything we're thinking. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a good point.
I believe in. I don't know what I believe in. I believe in like there's anything's possible, you
Right.
know. But
Yeah,
as far as
feel
like,
that.
you know, like a situation like Charles Manson, like, nah, bro, definitely got to go to jail. Like, you
Yeah,
can't.
I mean-
you
And
can't
like,
let
whether
him
he has to
rock.
go to jail or not, like, we still don't know what was going on.
Yeah,
in
like
bro's
even if he
brain.
was possessed, it's just like. But that's where I guess for me where it comes in is like how do possessions work exactly? Because I get what you're saying, where you have like the mental instability where you can be possessed or whatever, but majority of the possessions we know about are like through movies or whatever.
In the show The Crowded Room, when he gets taken over, he has multiple personality disorder. He's not possessed. But when someone else takes over like his personality, he has no recollection of anything that's even occurring.
And
he thinks it's an entire different person.
Yeah.
But all these different characteristics are like parts of his body that, or his subconscious, that created a person off of somebody to like protect himself in situations. So he has a guy who will protect him like if he's about to get fucked up.
Yep.
He has the bitch who got backshotted, who's like his feminine side. He's got like all these different personalities, and then finally he actually comes to light, and he was like, I have no idea what the fuck's been going on. He's like, help. Yeah.
So he just got backshots and was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, well, that obviously raises an interesting question: is how much personal responsibility does someone like that bear, if their mental state is fractured like that?
Right.
But,
Can they be responsible for themselves?
I mean,
That's the
shit
whole
like that.
part of the
Can
show.
I am not intelligent enough to answer
Right,
that question.
I can't answer it. No, I don't. I definitely can't answer that question.
Mea culpa.
I guess
I
what
can
you
ask
can
it.
answer is, do you think that they're possibly possessed by
So-
demons?
I don't think so. No,
And
possession is
actually,
also
no.
just like
I
it's a
would
type
take
of.
I will take the stance of absolutely.
I don't think that is a possession. I think a possession is when someone's like on the bed doing weird fucking
Right.
shit. That's
Well, there's
demonic-
and to
levels
me,
to
it's
it.
like, what would be the point of the devil doing that when even
I
if
don't
we're
think it's
going by
the
the
devil.
beliefs of, I mean, yeah, maybe
I think it's a
spirit.
tormented spirit that is
Yeah.
stuck in this
Well,
plane.
okay, so there's also a story in the Bible where, like, you know, like this guy's like, I think it might have been Jesus. He's like, "Who are you?" to like the demon, and they were in a person, but they said like, "We are legions, like we are many," and that's kind of why people don't fuck with pigs, because God like sent the fucking demons into the pigs and they killed themselves or whatever. But like, so the concept of one person being possessed by many is like an older concept, you know, biblically.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never
that's
heard
why I
of
was
that.
like, it's not
And-
even pop culture. Like
And it's not
religious
always
history.
like it's not always just the like floating, spinning
Guess that
head
was
shit.
pop culture.
Like
for a while.
sometimes it is like I guess like in the movies that show like demonology, like how it goes, it's like a slow progression.
I was
so
gonna
where it
say-
seems like
The
a
full
psychotic break.
possession.
So we talk a lot more about vibration and shit today because we understand its effect on, and not everyone using that like verbiage understands or studies it, but we know like science wise everything moves in frequencies. Like even we are frequencies down to like our tiniest molecules are just little bits of energy vibrating and shit. And like we talk about how vibes rub off on us and shit, and like when you absorb what you're around, and that could kind of play into that same concept of like, even if it's just energy, if we don't personify it as like a demon or an entity or a spirit,
Literally.
like,
is it even your
can you still
feeling?
absorb it?
Right.
Yeah, and like empaths and shit who I feel very like sometimes I would describe myself as that, but also like I don't relate to every experience that everyone calling themselves an empath does. Like I don't feel like right now like there's like a grandpa over there telling me some shit. And I'm not trying to be shady.
My hot take on things like people who call themselves an empath, most people can practice empathy. Like
yeah,
you're not.
That's not superhuman.
It's not a special.
That's
It's not a
fact.
special ability.
You
to
gotta
practice
tune into
empathy.
it, but yeah, you're right.
There's lots of things that And also
It's not
understanding that
special,
even
right,
people,
but it's also not prominent. You know?
it's not.
It's not
It's-
prominent.
I think it's
in a
on
lot
the.
of
I think
people.
like we're on like a shit moves, and I feel like we're definitely on
Definitely
a rise.
There's
up.
always
Yeah.
waves.
I feel that it's less of an ability and more of just a
Awareness.
Focus, yeah, awareness.
a central focus on empathizing with the things around them. And for me, empathy can oftentimes be mispracticed. Like,
Yeah.
if you read the story of Hitler's life, it's pretty fucking sad. But at the same time, how much empathy should we really lend that person? You know what I mean? Empathy can be mispracticed in a lot of ways. I think that when we give a sense of wanting to understand someone, which is a normal human trait, and we have that in abundance, then we start to try to understand things from a perspective that just is functionally broken and doesn't make any sense. Like, nothing that Adolf Hitler believed in made any sense legitimately. It was based off of pseudoscience. And the fact that a lot of people will go back and they'll pick apart the life that he lived,
Trying to like answer like how did this happen?
and
It
then
doesn't fully
they fall
add
for
up.
it.
Yeah.
They fall for it. Like, how could they wrong this man? And it's like, well,
I
it was a different system that wronged him. He just came to the wrong conclusions because he's a fucking insane person. That's when it comes to stuff like that. That's like a little bit of a left turn from what we were talking about. But as far as empaths are concerned, I'm always wary because it's like, yeah, okay, who are you going to empathize with? You're just
I
gonna
feel like an empath doesn't necessarily need to empathize with someone like, oh, I
You don't have to side
agree
with
with
them,
you.
yeah.
They're just more so like
They
I feel
feel.
it, and that's why I feel like it's more of an awareness because like there's levels to it. Because I agree with what you're saying too, but you can also like not understand like what someone's going through, but like someone could come in and their energy could be off, and you
Yeah.
could be like, I felt
and that's
that.
the things I do relate to, that kind
Mhm.
of
I
shit.
suppose.
And also,
But that's just being
I
aware of
believe in,
like the people around you, like, yo, something's off.
I listen to like a lot of Ram Dass and shit like that, and people who have studied in the East more like Indian philosophies and shit, and just they talk about expanding your consciousness, and that goes into things like astral travel and shit like that. But he gets less into that. That's not really something he was focused on. Just kind of in the same realm.
You don't
But he
know
talks
anything about
about
him.
just like, for example, quick story.
Mhm.
Like he was studying under a guru. I'm not going to get into the whole story of how he got there and shit. He thought the guy was full of shit at first when he was brought to him. Ends up like not worshiping this guy, but devoting his time to just like living with him and studying with him. And they would have meditations and shit. And there was a night where just all in his own mind, they're not speaking to each other. And the guru wasn't even there with them. He's from Boston.
Mhm.
And this guy was famous, had been a professor, and studied LSD and shit, and then basically like left to go on a spiritual journey. But he was thinking about home and drinking root beer with his brother and shit. He missed that, and he had given up all those things. Like they eat specific shit, drink specific shit, and like the next day, he goes and talks to his guru, and he's just like, "You were in Boston last night." Just like, yeah, you're with your brother having a drink, like that kind of shit, and like. It was interesting because it was
fascinating,
like
actually.
he put his energy there, Ram Dass, the person who was having the thoughts, and then he always described his guru's energy as being on every plane. Like even when Ram Dass would be tripping balls, out of body type shit, his guru would be there, like in the same form, and it just blew his mind. Because like he talks about like consciousness and shit, and how really we're all one energy that has like manifested physically and as individuals, that kind of shit, which is, it's one perspective. But he talks about how like the further we go back, like it's just awareness and energy and shit, and how most people, I don't even know how to explain it, but it was just, he was very shocked to see his guru in that way, in those like planes of energy. It's
I
like
think
most people,
yeah.
you don't see their form like that. Which is weird. There's just some interesting shit to me, but I just feel like energy is definitely something we have a lot to learn and a lot that we don't understand. And
Well,
like,
I mean, for me, I always like, I want to understand the practical science behind that same concept, right? Like
Right.
that's always what I want to know is because It's always how I have been. It's why I read up on so
That's fair.
much, because for me, I wanted to understand why things were the way that they were. Why does America exist in the way that it does right now? Why? I mean, and then so it started there, and then you keep going further back because you realize that this institution didn't start here; it started there, and then you go and you read up on that, and but when it comes to stuff like energy and stuff that's so new
Abstract.
and abstract,
honestly, yeah.
like I always have to wonder, like, how does that work on a psychological level? How does that work?
And that's kind of, I feel like, what a lot of his
Practically.
journey was about. Because he was asking questions. It got to the point where he had all the material success. He did it. Like,
Yeah.
he was literally a professor of psychology at, like, Harvard or some shit. And, like,
impressive.
gave talks all over. And then he was studying LSD and shit. And he was doing it with other scientists. And
It's got to be so fun.
it was probably a blast. The community
Making real
deemed it
breakthroughs.
basically
Yeah,
just
right.
like they said, you guys are, it's malpractice because you're not objective, you're
Yeah.
taking parts in the experiment. And he was tapping into like a space where he just felt like love. He felt like he was shedding what some people might call ego death and shit. He has a lot of different trips and experiences he tells stories about, but like he just found himself in a place where he was not so worried about how does he look, what did these people think about him, like the scientific community, what are they saying, blah 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 blah, like what do his parents think. And I think that as that stuff started falling away and he didn't care, the questions were more like, like, why am I here, what's the goal, what's the point, what control do I have in it all, like what's my role to play. And then he even, like, a lot of people get kind of stuck there on the super deep end, but I really appreciate him because, like, he comes back full circle to, like, there was a while where he was just like, I have no role, everything's just happening, and I'm just, like,
Yeah.
witnessing it. And there's a part of us that is just witnessing everything, but he was like, also, he realized I incarnated as a man, as a Jewish man. He was bisexual. He was like, and from Boston, from this time, like, I'm these person's son. He's like, I realize while I'm none of that stuff, like I'm just a spirit, like I'm a soul, I'm also all of those things. And like, I appreciated he like brings it back to earth, I guess. And just like, I got to play this role too. Like we have spiritual work to do here and we have physical work to do here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My ideal function of the universe is exactly like that of The Good Place. You guys seen that show?
Yes.
I've seen some of it. I took a class on like death actually in college and we watched some of that.